What's going on, folks? And thank you for tuning in with me to another edition of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And, of course, I am your host, the man they call Ghost. And once again, folks, I want to thank you very much for tuning in with me on this Monday. That's right, folks. This is episode number 604. Episode number 604 for all the folks that are keeping track of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And before we get into anything else, I'd like to ask everybody who's listening to the sound of my voice right now to spread it around like wildfire. Let everybody on the internet and throughout the world, let everybody know that True Capitalist Radio is in effect and in the house. And we are live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Texas Time, right here on the official website of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And I love being independent now. Type in your browsers, add to your favorites, add to your bookmarks the following: ghost.report. All right, it's as simple as that, ghost.report. All right, that's all you have to type in your browser, nothing else. Add that to your bookmarks, add that to your favorites, and spread it around like wildfire. If you're listening to the sound of my voice, folks, you are listening to the political underground of the internet. I can tell you that right goddamn now. All right? Now, before I get started, I want to remind everybody to please follow me on my only social media representation on the internet today, and that's on Gab, folks. If you don't have yourself a Gab account, then I don't know what the hell you're doing, for Christ's sake. I mean, Gab is the last bastion of freedom of speech and social media today. If you don't have a free account, well, then get one, all right, on Gab, and follow me. Follow me under the name Politics Ghost, all right? All one word, no underscores. Politics Ghost is the name to follow on Gab. And look, don't be afraid to be a part of Gab, folks, all right? I mean, you know, Gab, it's a very user-friendly type of a social media environment. They're not trying to keep your data. They're not trying to find any kind of consumption patterns or throw you any kind of algorithms or anything like that. It's just a simple social media, and if you don't have yourself an account, well, then, by God, I would strongly advise you get one. Now, once again, Politics Ghost is the name to follow on that social media, because that's where I'm at. And by the way, folks, I want to say what's going on to the True Capitalist Radio chat room. What's going on to the boys in there? Well, there's a few women in there. So anyway, regardless, I want to say what's going on to the guys that are here right now, early, chilling with us on this Monday. And let me tell you, we are in the dog days of summer, so I know that people are probably out there trying to go to the beach and try to partake in all the last summer festivities before we go into the fall. And then, can you believe it, folks, we're along the alleyway of the holidays. I mean, Jesus Christ. 2018, can you imagine that 2016 was 2 years ago, for Christ's sake, when we were out there doing what we can, meme wars, promoting Donald Trump, putting the facts in everybody's faces, the corruption, the swamp in D.C. 2016, it seems like yesterday, man. I will never forget 2016. Ever. Anyway, let's go ahead and give some shout-outs to some people that are in the chat room right now, in the True Capitalist Radio chat room. What's going on to Eaglecock? What's going on to Tesla Cyberheart? We got Stagio in the place, Nat in the house. We got Metaform, Man Bear Pig, Jingo Bert in the house, Holden Capitalist, Hawk Late Milk. We got Hans Ubalanda. We got Fish. What's going on to Fish? Carolina Capitalist, Cap in the house, Blasphemous Bastard. We've got Black Star Try. And hey, Black Star, I'm going to send you back to Hong Kong. I'm just joking, man. Anyway, it's an inside joke. Y'all, the guys inside they get it in the chat room. And 25 years of Herb. As a matter of fact, it's Herb's birthday, so happy birthday, Herb. What's going on to Curly McWhirly and everybody else that I did mention? I want to say what's going on to you. And if you want to be a part of the True Capitalist Radio chat room and be chilling in here with us, kicking it with us, not just during the show, but during off times, baby, we're doing all kinds of internet tomfoolery on top of talking about economics, crypto, stocks, politics, international relations, and all that good stuff. We're also doing some internet tomfoolery that is legendary, if I don't say so myself. So if you want to be a part of the True Capitalist Radio chat room, then all you've got to do is go to my Gab account right now. Go to my Gab. Check out my Gab at Politics Ghost. And once you're there, go ahead and click the subscribe button for premium content, folks. You hear that? Click the subscribe button for premium content. And once you've done all that, private message me on Gab and let me know your Discord chat name, baby, and I will give you a private invitation to the True Capitalist Radio chat room. It's that damn simple. Anyway, before we get into the crypto and stock talk and all the financial stuff, I want to intro today's Monday, episode number 604. It is August 13, 2018. I would like to intro this show talking a little bit about this overrated wannabe mad scientist that everybody's trying to shove down our throats like some kind of a goddamn genius. And I'm talking about none other than this stupid doll hair sporting jerk dick, Elon Musk. That's right. I'm going to talk about Elon Musk because, first of all, anybody who's been a fan of this show knows that I'm not a fan of this bastard. I mean, this son of a bitch has taken over $5 billion in U.S. tax funds so that he can build all this ridiculous R&D garbage that he keeps talking about. But what the hell has this little stupid company, and let me tell you, it's a shame that Nikola Tesla's name is associated with this piece of trash Elon Musk, because he is tarnishing the name of goddamn Tesla. And as a matter of fact, did you know that Elon Musk didn't even like Tesla? He likes, Thomas Edison more, for Christ's sake. So that's a whole other debate. But regardless, what the hell has Tesla really produced? Can somebody explain this to me besides something that is the equivalent of the Chevy Volt? Y'all remember the Chevy Volt, for Christ's sake? I mean, that's literally all goddamn Elon Musk has put out in production, for Christ's sake. He's talked about a lot of things that he's gonna build, and he's thinking about building, and hyperloops and batteries that last for 50 years, and supposedly electric cars that can go from 0 to 60 in a second and a half, or all this crap, all this garbage. We're gonna send rockets into space and all that shit, all of it. This guy has produced absolutely effing nothing. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I mean, you know what he's doing, folks, okay? Whenever he is being called by the business community on where the actual production is, with all these crack pipe cockamamie ideas he keeps promoting out here, what does he do? He produces something to take the media spotlight off of his actual fucking job, which is actually supposedly producing all this garbage he's talking about. Instead, what does he do? Who wants a flamethrower? How about that, guys? Isn't that cool? You want a flamethrower that was made by Elon Musk's company? And then that fucking, y'all remember what I'm talking about, that stupid goddamn flamethrower that you could probably build yourself for about $40. He's selling a goddamn flamethrower for $500, and it's not to make a profit, folks. It's to deviate the business and the investment community away from his lack of being able to produce all the garbage he's claiming that he's going to develop in research and development. Now, why am I not only bringing him up to criticize him, okay, because he hasn't produced a goddamn thing? Why am I bringing him up? Well, I'm going to tell you what Elon Musk is about to do, in my opinion, okay? Elon Musk is about to pull off the biggest scam in world history. Now, how is he doing this? First of all, he has all this research and development mumbo-jumbo. He has all this crap in the future, rockets and batteries that last for 50 years, and you name it. He's got electric cars. I mean, you name it, he's got it. And he's yet to produce anything that we have actually seen with our eyes, with the exception of crap that's prototyped and stuff that he's packaged together in some kind of pre-packaged editing video piece of garbage. I mean, listen, he hasn't produced anything. So what he's going to do is he, since he is being traded in the public arena, meaning that this man has stock. So if you want to purchase Tesla stock, which is Elon Musk's company, you could go on the stock exchange and buy yourself a stock. Well, you see, this is what Elon Musk has done. He's utilized the government's money to start funding these ridiculous endeavors that he started off. Then as they were starting off, he got private money so that people could have a piece of his whatever Tesla or whatever companies that he's putting up, and he had private money, which are like venture capitalists and people that are willing to, fund whatever Elon Musk needs for whatever cockamamie research and development idea that he has, right? Then once all that got tapped out, once the government got tapped out and the venture capitalists got tapped out, that's when he took his goddamn company public, okay? He takes his company public and then utilizes the investors who bought his shares. He uses their money to continue this research and development scam. And as you notice, folks, I mean, he talks a lot about producing this and producing that. He hasn't produced shit. And now that you've got investors that are saying, "Hey, Musk, you keep pushing down the introduction of these prototypes that you keep claiming that you're building in your little research and development team there. What the hell's happening?" Now that you've got investors asking questions about Tesla and its business operations, now you've got Musk in a little bit of a pickle, because you see there is regulatory bodies that oversee the sale of stock in publicly traded companies. And you see, he's already gotten himself into some major trouble tweeting. He thinks he's a cool guy that he can tweet and, people really give a shit about what he says. I mean, aside from the fact that he has tweeted about potentially a number in which somebody private, you see, this is what's going to happen. As of late, Elon Musk has claimed that he has people or investors interested in taking the whole entire Tesla company private. Now, how you take a company private is by the following, folks, and listen very carefully. If I was a billionaire and I wanted to take a publicly traded company private, I would have to propose to every investor that is invested in this company that I am willing to pay the all-time high that the stock has ever traded for, plus a percentage premium on top of that all-time high. So let's say, for instance, the all-time high of whatever share of whatever company that I want to buy out was $50. We're just saying this for the sake of argument, okay, folks? We're saying this for the sake of argument. Let's say the company I wanted to buy out, their share and their all-time high was $50. Well, I would have to propose as a private entity or a private company or a private person to take over this public entity. I would have to propose somewhere in the range of $60 to $65 per share, in which me and my company or my group or whoever was going to buy out every share traded of this once traded $50 a share company at $60 a share. And typically shareholders are willing to go ahead and sign off and vote okay on such buyouts because everybody's cashing out. That's the whole point of private companies buying out public companies. They have to put a price higher than it's ever been traded for, so everyone who's holding bags in that company gets paid off with a generous profit, to say the least. And that's how corporate buyouts happen. Now, how does this relate to Musk? Musk, now that he's wanting to, well, I should say his investors are wanting him to be accountable. And his investors want to know what the hell is going on with the developments of the rockets and the batteries and the Tesla car and all that. What's going on? What's the holdup? He doesn't want to be held accountable for it. So how is he not going to be held accountable for it if he's a publicly traded company? He's going to take it private, according to him. And according to him, he has enough funding to be able to take it private. Now, this is where I'm claiming is that he's going to, if somebody funds this, they are literally going to make Elon Musk one of probably the richest, if not one of the top 3 richest men in the world, and Elon Musk didn't produce a goddamn thing. Now, what's going to happen is that now that Tesla is supposedly being sought after by private entities, according to Musk, the private entity is going to have to make a bid for Tesla at a premium of at least, I would say, anywhere from 15 to 20% above the all-time high of Tesla. Now, folks, these numbers are getting astronomical. They're talking about this private buyout of Tesla costing in the range of over $400 billion. And to my knowledge, I think if that actually was pulled off, it would be the biggest buyout in world business history. And folks, Tesla hasn't produced shit. It hasn't produced anything. Do you understand what I'm saying? I mean, what's about to happen is if somebody, and look, they're talking about the Saudis, maybe the Chinese, but look, I'm going to be, and try to put this out to anybody who's out there that's a big-time investor. Do not invest in Tesla. Do not make it private, because it's a nothing burger. It is an overpriced nothing. It has been oversold by Elon Musk and the media that used to fluff him up all the time. Remember? The media would always fluff up goddamn Elon Musk like he was Bill Nye the Science Guy, for Christ's sake. And lest we forget that Elon Musk didn't do shit in the science arena. All he did was help create PayPal with Peter Thiel. And if you want my opinion, Peter Thiel had a hell of a lot more than he did creating PayPal. That's all Elon Musk did. This guy's not an engineer. He's not a scientist. That's what the media had you people believe, but he is not. And I implore anyone that is thinking about buying out Tesla from Elon Musk, don't fucking do it. Don't even think about it, man. You are going to be accomplishing to Elon Musk the biggest con job, the biggest business scam of all time. Because guess who owns a big chunk of those shares that are going to be bought out at 52-week high, or excuse me, all-time highs, not 52-week high, all-time highs. So whatever the all-time high was for Tesla, they're going to be bought out at all-time highs plus a premium of at least 15 to 20% on top of the all-time high. Who owns a lot of those shares? None other than doll hair, fake scientist, piece of garbage himself, Elon Musk. And folks, they're talking about this deal costing somewhere over $400 billion to buy out Tesla, to take it private. I mean, I'm telling you, if Elon Musk doesn't leave with over $160, $170 billion, if some idiot group actually buys out this big fucking scam, then this is the biggest scam in business fucking hit. I'm not even joking around. I'm not even kidding, because what the fuck has Elon Musk produced to justify a $400 billion privatized buyout of some fucking company? I mean, I'm not even kidding. What the fuck has he done? I mean, it seems to me, if you want my opinion, he seems to be just blowing people's money away like he was fucking Batman in, the Batman movies. Just throwing, what we're going to do? I'm Elon Musk, and I want a submarine that would fit a child. Why do we need to do that, Mr. Musk? Don't worry about it. I want some little contraption that I could put a child in so I can throw it in the water and leave it in the water indefinitely. Okay, we'll go ahead and get right on that, Mr. Musk. Don't you think we should be working on the rocket and the fucking battery? No, don't question me. I'm Elon Musk. You and everyone else in this planet should listen to me. I'm going to create artificial technology. I'm going to implement robots that's going to suppress you. Okay, Mr. Musk, whatever you say. Why did I bring up the fucking kid submarine? Because, first of all, what was fucking Musk doing with such a thing? Okay? I mean, isn't he supposed to be building rockets and electronic cars and batteries and flamethrowers? What the hell is his research and development team doing building a little submarine body for a child? And for those that are unaware, if y'all missed, there were some Taiwanese boys that were trapped in a cave because of an onslaught of rain that filled up the cave with water, and they were trapped in there for a good amount of time. And they did not know how to get these boys out. I mean, the only way to get them out was to take a voyage underwater that would take hours. And it was a very critical operation to rescue these boys because, it could potentially cost their lives, because not even some professional divers can be under the water for hours and hours, meandering and moving around a cave system and that sort of thing. Well, for whatever reason, while the diving team that was tending to these Taiwanese kids in this cave were going in and out of the cave through doing different dives and bringing in supplies to these kids, feeding them, etc., you had Elon Musk publicly say, "Oh, I will save the children. I've got a child submarine that we could put the children in, and they can just simply take the submarine and meander around the caves, and I will do it. I will donate it to you because I'm Elon Musk. And I want everybody to know that I'm not only the best around when it comes to science, but I'm also the biggest philanthropist around." Anyway, when the diving team, the professional diving team that went in and out of these caves helping these Taiwanese kids, rejected Elon Musk and said, "Look, Musk, we've never even heard of a fucking child submarine. All right, what the fuck is this? What are you offering us here, you stupid dope? And secondly, I mean, this operation that we're doing on a daily basis, feeding supplies to these children, is a dangerous fucking operation, you stupid kookster. No, we don't want your fucking child submarine, Musk. Shove it up your ass." And you know what Musk did? What Musk did, instead of just, instead of just taking the rejection and saying they didn't want your stupid child submarine, he went on to Twitter and accused the dive team that was helping the Taiwanese kids of pedophilia. I mean, this is Elon Musk. I mean, that's why I'm telling you, folks. I mean, this guy is the biggest con artist in world history, and he must be stopped. I hear the Saudis are thinking about buying Tesla. I hear the Chinese. Don't do it. Don't. I mean, let fucking Elon Musk have to deal with the consequences of the regulatory bodies, of the investor lawsuits. I mean, let him deal with it. Don't reward this piece of shit by buying shares from him at all-time highs plus a premium. Plus a fucking premium. I mean, don't do it, all right? Don't. It's a con job. If this guy gets the fucking Saudis or the Chinese or whatever fucking entity to take Tesla take Tesla private, I mean, Elon Musk stands to, I'm only guesstimating, at least over $160 billion plus in his fucking pocket for producing nothing! For producing nothing but the Chevy fucking Volt, man. Anyway, look, I'm not going to take any more time on this fucking subject. I just want to let everybody know, okay, that goddamn Elon Musk is a fraud, and he must be stopped. And the Saudis, if you're listening in, please don't fucking invest in this piece of crap. You're just going to make this guy one of the richest men in the world when he's done fucking nothing. If you want my opinion, I think that Donald Trump should go and say, look, Musk, we want our $5 billion back, you piece of crap. And if he can't come up with it, well, then we confiscate all his stupid research and development, and we fucking auction it off to the highest bidder. Fucking con artist, Elon Musk. I'm not fucking stupid, man. And that's why I outlined your little stupid con job on this fucking goddamn broadcast, because you're a piece of shit! Anyway, with that being said, let me go ahead and get right to the cryptocurrency markets, because I'm sure everybody's like, Ghost, what the fuck's going on with cryptocurrency? Well, I'll tell you what's going on, folks. The dollar, the U.S. dollar, is king of all currencies right now. It is the king of all currencies, folks. And right now, you've got everybody wanting U.S. dollar in their pocket. And I'm not just talking about here in the United States. I'm talking about people in the international community, baby. They want to cash out with U.S. dollar. I mean, I'm even talking about people in Europe, people in the Middle East, people everywhere. They want U.S. dollar in their fucking accounts, in their portfolio, in their pockets. The dollar is king, baby. I mean, we are continuously going upward in years high right now, folks. We are at 52-week highs and continuing to go upward on the U.S. dollar. And, you know, I'm finally starting to read some cryptocurrency media outlets out here that are starting to fucking understand what I've been explaining on this broadcast every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, was there is a direct correlation with the increased value of the U.S. dollar and the decrease in the cryptocurrency markets. And now they're starting to understand it. Now, with that being said, folks, the reason that we're having so much value come into the U.S. dollar, even though in this last round the Federal Reserve did not raise interest rates, is because the currencies all around the world are falling, baby. And look, I don't want to talk about that right now. I'll talk about that very extensively later, but look, this has a lot to do with the economic warfare that America is unleashing across the world. And I'll explain exactly why America is unleashing economic warfare throughout the world, but it is depleting the integrity of fiat currencies everywhere, all over the international community. That's why everybody wants the U.S. dollar. And right now, especially in places like Iran and Turkey and places like that where their currency is dirt shit, the last thing they're thinking about is cryptocurrency right now, because, I mean, I want to be honest with you, and we're going to talk about this extensively later, but Turkey right now, the country of Turkey, is partying like it's 1929. I'm not even kidding around. I mean, their Turkish lira has dropped dramatically. I mean, it has crashed, and the integrity of their own fucking saving system, their banking system, I don't even know is even intact anymore. I mean, they don't even know what to do. But regardless, this is what's bringing down the cryptocurrency markets at this point in time, folks. And I would strongly just stand by, and if you have any liquidity, buy. This is why there's such decreases in the cryptocurrency markets, folks. The dollar value is high. All you've got to do is go look at the supermarkets. All you got to do is go buy some food at a fast food joint or at a restaurant, man. The dollar is going farther, a lot farther than I anticipated. And that's because we are the king of fiat right now in the world, folks. We are the king of fiat in the world. Now, with that being said, let me go ahead and take a look at the market capitalization of cryptocurrency right now. And I want to be honest, we are seeing close to all-time lows as far as I'm concerned when it comes to this cryptocurrency market. And I am still accumulating and buying in these conditions, because this is when you make the biggest profits, when we see these bounce backs from these major contractions. And like I've always said, you don't lose money until you sell off your investment. All right, always remember that, man. I mean, even if you're holding on for a year or two, at least you're worth something. At least you have a portfolio of something. You know, when you meet some chick, you can be like, yeah, I've got a portfolio of some cryptocurrencies, and got some blue chip stocks that are actually feeding me a little bit of generous dividends, and yeah, I'm a fiscally responsible dude. You know, I think about the future. That's what women want to hear, gentlemen. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about crypto. I'm not going to go extensive in it because if you're holding crypto, you're probably seeing a lot of red, which is probably making you a little red in the face. But don't you worry, boys. All right? Long-term investment reigns supreme. We are going to see dramatic increases as we get into the holidays. And the reason is aside from the holiday season bringing fervor into the market, which we have seen in the past couple of years, we are also waiting for the SEC's decision on whether or not there's going to be an exchange-traded fund related to Bitcoin. And if there is, that's what's going to at least bring in billions upon billions of more dollars of investment, because it gets that much more closer, to traditional investment instruments. Now, that being said, folks, let's go ahead and take a look at the damn cryptocurrency markets right now. We're at about $204 billion market capitalization for the entire cryptocurrency market. All right? I mean, now is the time to buy, folks. I'm telling you this right now. If you don't believe me, when the rise comes and you could have seen how much profits you could have made, even if you just threw a small chunk of change at it, you're going to be slapping yourself daily in the face, folks. All right? I mean, once again, long-term investment reigns supreme, and when everybody's leaving the market, that's when you want to go in the market. Buy low, sell high, all right? Let's go ahead and get to Bitcoin. Of course, the first kid on the blockchain here. Once again, I think that these are great levels to go into to potentially see another run on Bitcoin, folks. And the reason I think there's going to be a run on Bitcoin is because of all the hype that I am seeing and reading in business media. I mean, they are literally hyping it up to a point where they're trying to cause another hyper-sensationalistic investment bump. So that's what I'm anticipating for Bitcoin. And aside from that, folks, if we do get this ETF for Bitcoin, be expecting Bitcoin to go back up to at least 15 to 20,000. At least 15 to 20,000. For the short term, I think by the new year or before the new year, somewhere around that time. If it doesn't, well, I think it's going to be doom and gloom for not just Bitcoin, but it could be potentially doom and gloom for a lot of coins. But I don't think that's going to happen. I've gathered from my investigations that the SEC is somewhat favorable to this ETF, so we shall see. Once again, Bitcoin, BTC is the symbol. Current market capitalization for Bitcoin is $108 billion market cap. The circulating supply is 17.2 million. In circulation, in the past 24 hours, Bitcoin has gone down 0.84%. Current price for Bitcoin is $6,299.21 per Bitcoin. Let's get to Ethereum. Ethereum is taking it on the fucking teeth. Good God! Take a look at Ethereum, folks. It is $29 billion market capitalization. The current circulating supply is 101 million in circulation for ETH. In the past 24 hours, Ethereum has gone down 10.61%. Good God! Current price for Ethereum, folks, $286.81. Jesus Christ. Let's continue going. Thanks, U.S. dollar. Let's go ahead and get to Bitcoin Cash, folks. Current market capitalization for BCH is $9.2 billion market capitalization. The circulating supply is 17.2 million in circulation. In the past 24 hours, Bitcoin Cash has gone down 6.61% decrease. Current price for Bitcoin Cash, BCH, $535.57 per Bitcoin Cash. Litecoin, LTC, current market capitalization is $3.2 billion market cap. The circulating supply is 57 million in circulation. In the past 24 hours, we have seen Litecoin go down, 4.27% decrease. Current price for Litecoin, $56.99 per Litecoin. Good God. Let's get to Monero. Monero, just like everything else, has seen, everything's just going low. Monero, current market capitalization is $1.4 billion market cap. The current circulating supply is 16.2 million in circulation. In the past 24 hours, Monero has gone down 5.48% decrease. Current price for Monero, symbol XMR, $88.20. Good God! Let's go to Ethereum Classic now that it's been listed on the Coinbase exchange. ETC is the symbol, folks. Now, people ask, what's the difference, Ghost, between Ethereum Classic and Ethereum? Well, Ethereum Classic has no, Vitalik character. If you're not familiar with Vitalik, he's the poshole-looking jerk-off that's always, carrying around like a pony purse, going around the country thinking that he's a badass about crypto, because he did help create Ethereum. Ethereum Classic doesn't have that. It has more of a board of sorts, as opposed to, one person like Vitalik making, unilateral decisions for the entire coin, etc. So that's what makes Ethereum Classic look a little attractive to folks that are, kind of looking at this for a long-term investment. ETC is the symbol for Ethereum Classic. Current market cap is $1.2 billion market capitalization. The circulating supply is 103 million in circulation. In the past 24 hours, Ethereum Classic has gone down 9.14%. Current price for Ethereum Classic, $12.07 per Ethereum goddamn Classic. Good God. We've got Dash, folks, D-A-S-H, and look, it goes on and on, man. Dash, current market cap is $1.1 billion market cap. The current circulating supply for Dash is 8.2 million. In the past 24 hours, folks, Dash has gone down 13.71%. Good God! Current price for Dash is $145.15. You gotta be shitting me. Speaking of Vitalik, this next coin, Zcash, Vitalik says that he likes this coin as if it came down to another coin besides Ethereum. So whatever that's worth to you and whatever that's worth to the market, that's what Vitalik said yesterday, I believe it was. So I like Zcash for a lot of different reasons. It's a low circulated coin. It's at the beginning. It just updated its blockchain. You got a privacy emphasis on this coin. A lot of reasons why I like it. JP Morgan has made a considerable investment in this, so I like it. I'm mining it. I'm hoarding it, etc. Zcash, ZEC, current market cap is $656 million market capitalization. The current circulating supply for Zcash is 4.5 million in circulation. In the past 24 hours, Zcash, ZEC, has gone down 8.98%. Good God. Current price for Zcash, $143.77 per Zcash. Good God. I'm telling you, that this market, it is just relentless, baby. It cares less. If you want my opinion, I think this may be a little bit of a shitcoin shakeout since we're seeing such, contractions. And the reason that I'm saying that this may be a shitcoin shakeout, do y'all remember the infamous coin BitConnect? Y'all remember that coin? Old BitConnect. Well, it just got delisted from its last exchange, and I think it was the obscure exchange called Trade Satoshi. You remember? Yeah, I think y'all seen it, but y'all probably haven't had an account there, or maybe if you do, tell us about it. Anyway, Trade Satoshi finally delisted BitConnect, which was the last exchange that actually had that as a part of their repertoire of coins. Now, BitConnect, it is now a dead coin. It is now absolutely worthless. It is worthless. And when you see things like that, I think that we're starting to see a little bit of a shitcoin shakeout. And if you want my opinion, I think that's better for the market than it is to continue on with a lot of these shitcoins getting market capitalization when it deserves nothing of the sort. Anyway, I want to get to quantum, folks, okay? Because I know everybody is asking, Ghost, quantum is going down. What the hell's the problem? Look, quantum, QTUM, right now is just being affected by the current state of the market. And secondly, lest we forget that this is an Asian coin. This is an Asian coin that hasn't truly taken off in the West or in other portions of the global cryptocurrency markets because it's trying to dominate Asia at this point in time. Now, the problem here is we've been having a lot of regulatory bodies try to make it a little harder for some of these Korean exchanges and Chinese exchanges, etc., to do business. So, recently we heard it was BitHum. Recently we heard the exchange BitHum got their banking accounts frozen because of the Korean government, which halted new investors into that particular exchange, etc. Now, with that being said, folks, I'm all about quantum. I'm not even kidding. It's my biggest holding, and I am acquiring more and more of it. All right? I am acquiring more and more of this, for Christ's sake. As a matter of fact, I'm so certain about quantum that I'm willing to look, and I'm only doing this because, unfortunately, we had a lot of people in the inner circle exit because they were a part of the crowd that, I guess, had a cartoon fetish, and they liked waxing their carrot to pornographic cartoons. I didn't realize how many of them were part of the inner circle, but the inner circle as a group, they picked up their pitchforks and their goddamn torches, and they were like, who's a goddamn fruit bowl that's whacking off to pornographic cartoons? And they weren't necessarily kicked out. They were just kind of scared out by the group. And I hope, once again, that each and every one of you that were scared off because y'all were a bunch of waxing your carrot, cartoon-watching pieces of low-grade, probably future pedophile, if not already pedophile trash, I hope that you folks realize that whenever you're in a social setting amongst real people, not amongst your little sick-ass, twisted online friends that think this little waxing your carrot to cartoons is somewhat cute, I hope that you feel shame, because you're going to feel shame in every social setting, because no one is going to find that amusing. No one is going to find that cute. No one's going to think that's okay. So take the rejection from the inner circle, and this also unfortunately happened in the TCR chat. Take the rejection and realize that, well, Jesus, I guess I can't be a 28-year-old brony who panders to a bunch of jerk-offs who wax their carrot to cartoons. I guess I can't do it. I guess I gotta grow up. I guess I gotta do something with my fucking pathetic virgin life. I'm 28 years old, and I'm a virgin. Oh, my God. Anyway, look. I'm willing for this week alone, okay? Because I'm down with quantum, okay? I'm willing to let anybody into the inner circle for what? What is? Let's go to quantum. Hold on a second. We got QTUM. Market capitalization is down to $370 million. Man, circulating supply is 88 million. All right? In the past 24 hours, QTUM has gone down 10.59%. Time to buy is right. Current price, $4.17. Now, if you want to be a part of the inner circle, I am only going to accept quantum. And by the way, I have charged everybody who wanted to be a part of the inner circle $300 USD. Okay? But I believe in quantum so goddamn much that I'm willing to cut the fucking price in USD in half if you pay in quantum right fucking this week. All right? What's half? What's more than half? How about 40 fucking quantum? What is 40 quantum right now? The current price for quantum is $4.17. Good God. All right, let's do this. All right, let's do this. Hold on just a second. What is 40 quantum anyway? What is 40 quantum? Hold on just a second, folks, because I want to show you how much I believe in this coin, and I'm willing to accept less than half of the USD. I'm not even kidding around. How about 40 times 417? That's 166. All right, that's 166. People pay 300. Let's go down even lower. How about that? How about that? How about 35 times, it's 417. That's 145 bucks. All right, 35 quantum this week gets you into the fucking inner circle to replenish the cartoon faggots that we had to fucking reject because they couldn't stop waxing their carrot off to fucking cartoons. So once again, 35 fucking quantum, and I'm only accepting quantum only. That's it. No, I don't want nothing else. All right? And by the way, you can get the quantum address off of the cryptocurrency wishing well. All right? All right? I'm not even kidding. 35 quantum. 35 fucking quantum. And that's how much I believe in the coin, because I think by the end of the year, every quantum is going to be worth at least about fucking close to $100 minimum. So once again, 35 quantum for this week alone till Baller Friday. Till Baller fucking Friday. Till Baller fucking Friday. That's it. No more. Just 35, man. Anyway, I believe in quantum. It is the future. And the reason I'm also doing this is because I want to show fucks that I'm putting my money where my mouth is. Okay? 35 quantum, that's more than half less than what some of the people have paid. And it's got to be in quantum, baby. That's it. It's got to be in quantum. It's 140 something in quantum. 35 quantum. Anyway, let me move on. As a matter of fact, let me continue on with the goddamn broadcast. And let me go ahead and just end the cryptocurrency coverage right here. And yeah, you know what? Please no fucking tards, please, man. We want people that are investors. We want people that are capitalists. We want people that are intelligent. We want people that want to progress their lives, man. And you see, that's why a lot of these folks that were waxing their carrots off to cartoons got kicked off, because they're doing the same shit every fucking day, all day. I mean, the most successful Inner Circle members have done something else. Each year, they've moved up. You know, they've moved up to six figures. They've bought themselves a house. They created a corporation. As a matter of fact, the Inner Circle, many of the Inner Circle members created corporations in Wyoming. Like a year and a half, 2 years ago, before people started realizing that if you're a crypto investor, that's where you want to incorporate, because of a lot of different tax and interpretations of what cryptocurrency is. I mean, hell, even Kanye West has got a fucking recording studio in Wyoming. And, of course, I'm probably sure it has a lot to do with the taxes. So, I mean, we've been making money moves here for the past year and a half to almost 2 years. And by the way, man, I mean, we want legit peeps. We want legit capitalists, because at some point, I'm going to meet the Inner Circle. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm hoping to do this. Let's try. I was hoping New Year's Eve, but we got some people that work in the Inner Circle that are saying, Ghost, I can't do New Year's Eve, man. They're not going to let me take off. I make six figures a year. I can't do it, man. So I don't know. We're going to see what's up, but I definitely do want to see the Inner Circle members, man. I've had great times with them. We've done a lot of things. We've, made a lot of money moves. We've, I just want to do it, man. I'm really looking forward to it, and Inner Circle means a lot to me, man. That's why I kick it with them as often as I fucking can. I try to go in there all the time, baby. And, of course, we always have very intelligent conversations about politics, international relations, and, of course, money. Now, speaking of money, let's go ahead and get back to the financial coverage. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about stocks. Now, as we look at stocks here, folks, the only thing I have to say is that if we are seeing any kind of decreases in stocks, it is obviously because of the economic warfare that America is unleashing upon the world, all right? All right, I'm not even kidding around. And you're seeing the Turkish lira crash, which is that contagion of the Turkish lira crashing is going to affect all banks all over the world. Because like I said, this is a global financial consortium. This is a global financial system. And if we see a country like Turkey go down, you know there are financial institutions that bought Turkey's debt in bonds. You know that there are some people that invested in Turkey as an emerging market that are losing their asses right now. And that contagion is really reflected in today's markets. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Dow Jones Industrial, shall we, folks? The Dow Jones Industrial is down today 125.44 points. A percentage decrease of 0.50%, closing out the Dow at 25,187.70 points for the Dow Jones Industrial. So we're still well above 25,000, but you can tell that the contagion of the Turkish lira crashing, the destabilization in certain areas of the world, China's stock market is crashing. A lot of things are happening. I mean, have you taken a look at the depreciation of the euro as of late? I mean, the U.S. dollar is king, baby. Let's go ahead and take a look at the S&P 500, shall we? The S&P 500 is down 11.35 points, a percentage decrease of 0.40%, closing out the S&P at 2,821.93 points for the S&P 500. We've got the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ is down 19.40 points, a percentage decrease of 0.25%, closing out the NASDAQ at 7,819.71 points for the NASDAQ composite. Let's go ahead and take a look at some commodities, shall we, folks? Let's get to energy. Now, what did I tell you about energy? Very fickle, especially now that we've got some warlike turbulence in the Middle East. As I've told people, an ETF that coincides with the increase of oil wouldn't hurt to have in your portfolio right now, because at any time we could see these damn oil prices go up 5 or 10% in one session. We've seen it before. I know we're going to see it again. So let's go ahead and take a look at WTI sweet crude right now. WTI sweet crude is up 22 cents, a percentage increase of 0.33%. Current price for WTI sweet crude is $67.42 per barrel of WTI sweet crude. Brent crude is up 20 cents, a percentage increase of 0.28%. Current price for Brent crude is $72.81 per barrel of Brent crude oil. We've got gasoline up 0.64%. We've got natural gas down 0.03%. We got heating oil up 0.23%. Let's go ahead and get to precious metals, shall we? The metals! Let's get to the goddamn metals. Now, gold saw a little bit of an increase, but wasn't much. It's still under $1,200, folks. Let's take a look at it. Gold is up at 90 cents today, a percentage increase of 0.08%, closing out gold at $1,199.80 per troy ounce of gold. Silver is unchanged on the day, folks. Current price right now for silver is $14.99. Copper is up 0.05%. We've got platinum down 0.64%. Let's go ahead and get to the agriculture, folks. All right, we got grains. All right, corn is up 0.20%. Wheat is up 0.18%. Oats is down 0.09%. Rough rice is up 0.19%. And soybean is down 0.09%. And I'm glad that we're sending more soybeans out there to the Eurocucks. You know, that's one of the few arrangements that the EU has signed. Y'all remember when Juncker came out to the White House to talk to the president, and they came out with a press conference stating that, we're going to sell soybeans, more soybeans to the Eurocucks, you know, so they deserve it, don't they? They deserve it. Anyway, let me continue. All right, let's continue here. Soybean is down 0.09%. Soybean oil is down 0.31%. Canola is up 0.02%. Let's go ahead and get to the softs, shall we? The softs. Let's get to cocoa. Cocoa right now is up 1.42%, lest we forget that cocoa is the base of chocolate, and cocoa is produced in Africa. That's right, it is produced in Africa, and I don't know if you folks have been keeping up with it. I know I've been joking about it on the broadcast as of late, but this is very serious. We've got a big case of Ebola. And that's why we're seeing a little bit of an increase, if you want my opinion, in cocoa. 1.42% increase on the day. We've got coffee.
Hey, dude, don't talk to me, okay, dude? Don't talk to me unless I have my coffee, okay? I need my coffee. Don't talk to me.
Shut up, you hipster faggot. Anyway, we've got coffee down today, 0.68%. Sugar is down. Good God, it is down 2.28% decrease on the day for sugar. Orange juice is down. Good God, 2.04% decrease on the day. Cotton is down, 2.90% decrease on the day. Jesus Christ. But lumber, let's take a look at lumber, baby. 3.62% increase on the day. I mean, it seems to me people ain't slowing down buying them fucking houses, huh? Or remodeling their house. This is definitely the Trump America, and I love it, and I feel it. Can you feel it? Good God. We've got rubber down 0.29%. We've got ethanol up 0.30%. Let's go ahead and get to livestock, baby, all right? Live cattle down it's down 1.0%. A whole percent for live cattle. Jesus Christ. Cattle feeder is down 0.35%. And before we get to lean hogs, I am serious. We've got to do this, folks. I'm not even kidding around. We've got to start the ham bone movement so we can make America look beautiful again, all right? We need to start. And look, I'm not telling anybody to harass anybody. I'm not telling anybody to confront anybody or fat shame anybody. But look, if you see these disgusting fat Snorlaxes in the goddamn shopping malls, in the grocery stores, riding these fucking hover-rounds, you know, these fucking electric scooters, whenever they back up, they go beep, beep, beep. What we have to do, folks, and look, this is a serious fucking community service announcement. You just got to pass by these people. Don't confront them. Don't yell at them. All you got to do is just pass by, and on the cool, as you're passing by, just go, Hambo. I mean, simple as that. Simple as that. Just, as you're passing by, I'm just saying, fat, greasy ass, smelly ass, back tit, having ham bone. And I'm telling you, I sincerely hope, although it seems to me that America's and Western civilization seems to be getting dumber. And cognitive understanding seems to be very hard for people nowadays. But I sincerely hope that they take that message with a grain of positivity and they put the fucking fork down for about 5 goddamn minutes, all right? Just put the fucking fork down, fatty! Put it down! Put it the fuck down! Anyway, with that being said, lean hogs, folks, is up 0.93%. Increase on the day, and that, my friends, is the markets for your ass, all right? Here, let me go ahead and take a little bit of swig of some cola here. And yes, baby, I am not drinking, man. All right, it's been like, 40 days and 40 nights without alcohol? Oh, yeah? I'm fucking sober, and it sucks. That's what it is. It sucks. Not even kidding, man. I was so bored, I was in the True Capitalist Radio chat room late on Saturday night fucking doing rap songs or some shit. I mean, I'm telling you, Saturday nights are the worst. They're the fucking worst if you quit drinking, man. Oh, my God, the melancholy, I can't take it, baby. It hurts me. But, yeah, 40 days, 40 nights, no alcohol, baby. And I feel good. I'll tell you, my digestive system thanks me. But, obviously, still suffering from some of those mental side effects from drinking every day for 10 years, like the occasional anxiety attack. Whenever I find myself in an anxiety attack, I usually get mad. And it goes away. But they still come along, which sucks. So, anyway, folks, we are now in the second hour of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And, of course, I am your host, the man they call Ghost. And once again, folks, I want to thank everybody for tuning in with me. Before we get started on anything else, I'd like to ask everybody to please, if you're listening to the sound of my voice, spread this show link around like wildfire and let everybody know that True Capitalist Radio is in effect and in the house, and we are live, okay, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Texas Time, right here on the official website of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And I love being independent now, baby. Type it in your browser and then add it to your bookmarks, add it to your favorites. The following, ghost.report. All right, it's as simple as that. That's all you got to type in your browser right now. Ghost.report. And it'll take you to the official website, baby. Let everybody know that, hey, True Capitalist Radio hasn't gone anywhere. They're independent now. I mean, hey, before Alex Jones got banned and now all of a sudden we all got to stop what we're doing to, I don't know, bring him back on YouTube so he can get that millions of dollars of YouTube revenue from producing all that shit. Look, regardless, okay, I was banned years ago. They have been banning yours truly since 2016. They have made it damn near impossible to monetize, to host, to everything. Everything. But you know what? I'm still standing. I'm still fucking standing, huh? My political will of the message that I'm trying to convey on this broadcast goes beyond that fucking money that Blog Talk Radio was paying me and all this other shit. And you see, folks, that's what they're trying to do to Alex Jones. That's what they're trying to do to all the right-wing e-celebs. They are trying to test their political will. Because, you see, these internet oligarchs know that many of these right-wing e-celebs are motivated by money. They're not necessarily full throttle with the political cause. They're out here being political because it makes them money. And you see what these people are doing in Silicon Valley and the left wing and the media, etc., they're trying to take away that monetization and test the political will of these so-called e-right celebs. And let me tell you, a lot of them are finding it very hard, aren't they? They're not as enthusiastic about going out there and continuing the political fight when there ain't that much money to go around, is there? And you see, that's what these Silicon Valley oligarchs know, man. They know. And that's what they're testing right now by banning and censoring and demonetizing all of us on the right. And that's why it's important for everyone who appreciates broadcasts like this and other independent broadcasters that go out and give you the genuine truth. It's important that individuals who listen or watch support the content creators in question, folks. So once again, I would like to ask everybody if you are interested in some merchandise related to this broadcast, might I direct you to the website. Go ahead and type it in your browser and add it to your favorites. Ghost.market. That's right, folks. Ghost.market. We got Ghost.report merch. We got Russian hacker merch. We got Remove Kebab merch. Remove Kebab. So once again, type in your browser, add to your favorites, Ghost.market. Get yourself some merch if you got some coin. If you think that some of the merch that we have is fairly decent, go ahead and hook it up, man. And by the way, if you also want to partake with us in the True Capitalist Radio chat room, then go to the go to the Gab. Go to my Gab! Check out my Gab! And click the subscribe button for premium content. Politics Goes. Click the subscribe button for premium content, and once you do, private message me on Gab. Let me know your Discord chat name, and I will give you a private invitation to the True Capitalist Radio chat room, baby. Anyway, who else do we got in the True Capitalist Radio chat room here? Who do we got? We've got 25 years of Herb. What's going on? Happy birthday, Herb. We've got Australian Capitalist in the house. Birds of Prey. Black Star Try. Blasphemous Bastard. Cap in the house. Colon Punisher. Good God. We've got Distilling the Tard Wrangler. Hans Uberlander. Hawklight Milk Holden Capitalist Hoodie in the house. Insane Energy. Man Bear Pig. Metaform. We've got Nat. Pepe the Frog, Prince in the house, Sky King Shekels, Sparked, Stagio, Tesla Cyberheart, the God of Rage, and Eagle Talk. Thank you guys for tuning in with me once again. You want to be a part of the True Capitalist Radio chat room, go to the damn Gab. Go to my Gab. Check out my Gab. Click the subscribe button for premium content. Private message me your Discord name. It's that simple. Anyway, now that we've gotten all that out of the way, we got a lot of things to talk about, so let's get right to it. Let's talk a little bit about the President of the United States, the modern-day George Washington himself, the man of the people. I'm talking about Donald Trump. Did y'all hear him just publicly chastise Omarosa? Did y'all see this? Wacky Omarosa. I'm glad that he's responded to this. And we were talking about this on Friday, remember? And what did I say this Omarosa situation was all about? It's all about a couple of things. First of all, it underscores the soullessness of black women in America today. Now, I know that there's people that are probably hearing that and thinking that I'm racist, and they're going, oh my God, I can't believe he said that black women are soulless. Hey, I mean, don't you understand? All right? Don't you understand that black women they're not even wanted by their black men? They're not even wanted by their black men at this point in time. And moreover, that's why many of them are becoming bull dykes. Now, aside from that, folks, okay, aside from that easy observation to make with your own fucking eyes, aside from that, folks, these black women are very vindictive. They have no loyalty to anything, anybody. I mean, they don't even have loyalty to their race. They barely have loyalty enough to their womanhood. And why am I saying that, folks? Just take a look at Omarosa here. What kind of loyalty does it take to be a two-timing, two-faced, backstabbing piece of low-grade trash like this? I mean, let's be honest, man. I mean, Donald Trump, the president, was taking a chance by giving an opportunity to Omarosa. Taking an absolute chance, giving her an opportunity to make something of herself and put in her resume that she worked with the president, that she worked for the president, etc. So with that being said, folks, I mean, we have this ungrateful person who was given an opportunity by the president, who was unqualified, mind you, but because the president appreciated her viciousness and her heart, gave her a shot. Then when she was trying to integrate herself with the White House team, according to all reports, she was a little bit of a boss-ass bitch, I'm a boss-ass bitch. Anyway, you know, your typical black woman stereotype. You know what I mean? Typical black woman stereotype in which they are going to give the attitude, going to, you know, be a little bit more aggressive. You know, and obviously that rubbed people the wrong way, because Omarosa doesn't necessarily have the credentials to be within the White House. And I'm sure there's people that have Ivy League college degrees and that have experience in the Beltway for fucking 20, 30 years. And they look at Omarosa and they're like, what the hell is this ghetto-fied piece of inarticulate crap doing here? Well, folks, obviously, she felt like she was not as influential as she once thought she was. And I said that's what this was all about. Didn't I say that on Friday? That it comes down to Omarosa not being able to influence the president, not being close enough to the president. And she needs to understand that just because she was maybe a little closer to Trump when he was a businessman, he's running the country. You're not going to be at his ear the whole time. And that's what I think Omarosa thought. And when she realized that she was just going to be one of the pegs in this operation at the White House, she didn't really like that very much. And according to reports, folks, and I didn't speculate this because there wasn't enough evidence, but now that Omarosa herself produced a recording that she illegally did herself with John Kelly, the chief of staff of the president, I mean, it underscores what has been speculated around many media outlets, that Omarosa was one of the White House leakers that could not keep her mouth shut. And once this was found out by John Kelly, I mean, he basically cut it off at the past. And did you hear Omarosa this morning trying to play that feminist nonsense?
Oh, I felt intimidated. John Kelly cornered me into a room with a bunch of men and he told me I couldn't leave.
That's not what I heard on the tape you fucking supplied, you dumb cunt. I heard very vividly that you are going to be terminated and that you broke laws. And I think John Kelly even made reference to the fact that if this was in the military, that Omarosa would be court-martialed for the type of crap that she's alleged of doing. And what John Kelly did was very professional. He wasn't keeping her there in the White House. He said, look, you're going to have to stay here and talk about the legal ramifications with the White House lawyers about what you've done. And once you've talked to the White House lawyers, you're going to be physically escorted out of the White House. And you see, like most boss-ass bitch, I'm a boss-ass bitch. I'm a boss-ass bitch. Because she's a boss-ass bitch and could not take the fact that she is a nothing burger because of her own intelligence. You know? Because of her own goddamn intelligence, for Christ's sake. Because she is incompetent. She can't accept that. Like an angry, scorned black woman, she is acting the equivalent of a black woman that is in the ghetto. When you swipe their food card and it says no money in the food card, and you tell them, I'm sorry, miss, there's no money in this food card. What are you talking about? Motherfucking Obama was supposed to pay me yesterday. Motherfucker haven't paid me. No, my shit good. You better do that again, motherfucker. And you run the EBT card again and like, look, ma'am, you ain't got the money to do this. I'm sorry, you're going to have to get out of here. Man, fuck you, motherfuckers. And then they go into a complete and utter destructive breakdown in which they throw all kinds of crap all over the store. We've all seen it, folks. Come on, man. World Star Hip Hop, YouTube. I mean, there are countless videos of women of urban persuasion that are out here acting a fool because things aren't going their way. And I asked many people this on the past broadcast. I mean, if you saw a very loud, angry black woman that was confronting you, would you sit there and actually try to talk back to it, try to confront it, try to yell back at it? No, of course not. Everybody knows the stereotype of black women. If you yell back at them, they're going to yell even louder. And if you yell louder, well, then they're going to get close to you and yell in your face. If you yell out in their face, then they're going to push you. And then they're going to hit you. And then they're going to take crap and throw shit at you. I mean, This is the fucking stereotype. And a cliche doesn't become a cliche unless there's elements of truth to this. And I'm telling you, folks, I am not a racist man. I am a melting pot of friendship. Everybody knows that throughout the internets and throughout the world. They know this. But you black folks are literally making people racist against you. And why is that? Because you, instead of going out and helping your own community genuinely, instead of the men in your community going out and, helping build some playgrounds in the black ghettos, instead of black men going out and muscling out the fucking gangs that are out here influencing the children, if the black men would go out and help rebuild the fucking communities that they lived in, then everybody would have to respect you. Because you, as a minority, as a supposed oppressed people, are taking it upon yourselves with your own self-determination to prove to the world that you demand respect. That you respect yourselves, that you respect your communities, and that you respect the idea of making a community that is safe, that is clean, that is free of drugs, that is free of gangs, etc. But we have yet to see this. Instead, what many blacks, I'm not talking all blacks, but what many blacks are doing are falling victim to the left-wing race hustling, because it's a lot easier to say, man, I ain't shit because of the man, baby. I ain't shit, man, because the government racist, baby. I ain't shit because the school is racist. Society is racist. Everybody racist, baby. And that's why, black folk, y'all haven't gone too far, okay? That's why all that y'all can do at this point is bitch and moan about racism. Because if any black folk that tries to go above the ghettofied standard that black people have put themselves in, y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm not being racist here. I'm being perfectly candid. The black folks have put a ceiling on themselves that doesn't go beyond a certain level of ghettofied mentality. And I talked about this on Friday. I said, what do black people do? Go into the hood and say, hey, man, I got my master's degree, baby. Can you believe that? I'm getting my master's degree. So what, your ass getting your master's degree, nigga? What, I'm supposed to sit back and make you be my master now, motherfucker? Huh? I'm supposed to be my man? Fuck you, man. Fuck your ass. Fuck your master's degree. You Uncle Tom ass motherfucker. Uncle Tom, Once a black person attempts to attain something higher than the quintessential ghettofied crap, they are an Uncle Tom. And no one in the black community can articulate to the black community that this is fucking ignorant. Alright? I'm not even kidding around. No one within the black community can tell and articulate to the black community that this embracing of ghettofied lifestyle, gangster rap, and all this bullshit is your fault and is prohibiting you from advancing. I mean, Jesus Christ. Anyway, look, I didn't mean to go off on this diatribe about race, but this Omarosa backstab of the president underscores this shit. It underscores this shit. I mean, I'm not even kidding around, folks. It underscores it. Because what did the president do to Omarosa? He gave her an opportunity. And what is she doing with it? Instead of just going away and utilizing her experience at the White House on a resume and going on a speaking tour or some shit, she is acting like your scorned-ass, black, ghettofied piece of trash who is swiping her EBT card and it's saying no funds available. Now she's going to fucking break the whole store. She's going to break the whole store because she don't have money on her EBT card anymore. That's what she's doing to the president. And I'm glad the president is coming out and saying, look, she's wacky Omarosa. And not to mention, this recording that she did with John Kelly in the White House, this woman should be arrested right now for this. Are you kidding me? She needs to be arrested, and federal authorities need to go over every goddamn nook and cranny at her house to find out if she has any more recordings of integral White House activities, secrets, etc. I mean, I'm serious. You see, that's how ignorant and scorned and ghetto Omarosa is acting in relation to this situation. She doesn't even know that by unleashing and admitting to these recordings that she's breaking the law. She's so pissed off. I mean, she's that stupid. That's why I'm telling you, Omarosa is the equivalent of some goddamn ghetto-fied black broad in the ghetto swiping her EBT and it says no funds available. She's breaking the fucking store. She's breaking the fucking store. She should be thrown in jail for this recording, man. And not to mention, she tries to call the president after she is escorted out of the White House, physically escorted out of the White House. She tries to call the president saying, oh, they did this to me and I can't believe it and they kicked me out and they fired me. And of course Trump, he's just trying to be a nice guy. He's like, oh, they did? Oh, goddamn, I don't love that they do that. That's horrible. I can't, you know what I'm saying? I mean, he didn't want to deal with this. He's the fucking president. He doesn't have to deal with some scorned black bitch. Oh, Jesus Christ. Anyway, look. Once again, if Omarosa is not in jail by the end of this week, there is no fucking justice. I mean, this woman is putting the integrity of our government at stake because this stupid, dumb, black, scorned, fucking ghetto bitch wants to record inside the White House, man. She should be in jail! Makes me sick. Anyway, I'm not going to spend too much time on Omarosa. I just think that, once again, it underscores the soullessness of black women. I mean, not even their own black men want them. Not even men in general want them. Have you seen? They're all turning bull dyke. All right, nobody wants them. All right, they don't. They're fucking a pain in the ass. And on top of them being a pain in the ass, they're sexually promiscuous on top of that. I don't get it. I don't understand what the hell that's supposed to be. But either way, and not to mention for you folks that are saying that I'm being racist, what's more racist? What's more racist? Me telling the fucking truth about what's going on here, for Christ's sake? I mean, did you all know that black women have aborted 20 million babies since 1973? 20 million black babies have been killed by black women since 1973, since Roe versus Wade. What's more racist? Me highlighting the truth about the black community, or pretending that black women are black Nubian princesses when they are the contributing factor of the degradation of black folk themselves? I mean, seriously, man, come on. Who's raising these black boys? Who's raising these black males? It's single, fat, black women. It's single, black women. And what are these boys looking at? They're looking at their mothers acting a fool. They look at their mothers out here, getting loud and boisterous and violent. That's where these boys believe that violence and being loud and boisterous solves something. I'm just saying, prove me wrong, black women. Your black men don't even want to have nothing to do with you, you dumb fucking pieces of ungrateful, soulless shit. Your black men don't even want to have nothing to do with you. And that's the truth. You could fucking sit here and say I'm lying, but come on, man. Look at all the mixed breeds. Look at all the black men, white women out here. Get the fuck out of here. Anyway, enough about Omarosa. Let's talk a little bit about Robert Mueller, the president, the president's lawyer, Giuliani. The president's lawyer, Rudolph Giuliani, says that a decision on a Mueller interview will come sometime this week. Yeah, that's according to the president's attorney, Rudolph Giuliani. The former mayor of New York City during 9/11, says that a decision on a Mueller interview with the president will come sometime this week. The president should not talk to Mueller, okay? I know the president thinks that he's got nothing to hide and he didn't do anything wrong, and that's why he feels that he can go into an interview with Robert Mueller and, you know, maybe make Robert Mueller look like shit. But Robert Mueller is a seasoned liar, a seasoned swamp monster, for Christ's sake. I mean, did y'all see that Gab post that I posted early this morning, folks? If y'all haven't, scroll down a little bit, okay, to where it says how Robert Mueller and James Comey made millions promoting the surveillance state in America. Yeah, they were, whenever they weren't working for the government, they were conveniently working for these high-grade, sophisticated manufacturers of the surveillance state. And that's how they made their millions, you know. They would, you know, take a crummy little bureaucratic salary whenever they were working for the Department of Justice or if they were working for any other bureaucratic government agency. But when they were no longer government agents, they would be employed by corporations for millions and millions of dollars. I would strongly recommend everybody taking a look at that particular article right there that I posted about 14 hours ago on my Gab. And it goes into detail on the extent in which how Robert Mueller and James Comey are not only best buds and are like fucking bureaucrat bros, but they also utilize their experience within law enforcement and prosecution as a means to make millions for manufacturers of the surveillance state. So, that's just a footnote. But regardless, Rudolph Giuliani says that there will be a decision on an interview sometime this week. I hope it's a nay. There should be no reason why the president should be subjected to any kind of cross-examination by Robert Mueller. As a matter of fact, I don't know why Robert Mueller's special counsel is still around. I mean, how many more people that does have to be implicated? Excuse me, I'm sorry, I'm so fucking pissed that Robert Mueller's special counsel is still even in existence. Sometimes I'm just so fucking angry. How much more corruption and bias have to be exposed every single day that goes by when it comes to this Robert Mueller special counsel before we realize that this not only is a witch hunt, but the Robert Mueller special counsel is a politically weaponized vehicle to remove a duly elected president from office. And according to Giuliani, which I believe should happen, and it's starting to gain wind within the Beltway and the media, I think we need to start investigating Robert Mueller himself. We need to investigate the investigators. And the reason is, folks, is because we've had too many anomalies, too many connections with the nefarious characters that have already been outed as anti-Trumpers within the Department of Justice and the FBI. I mean, the first one that comes to mind is what? The infamous Peter Strzok. And by the way, Peter Strzok, he was fired today by the FBI. Finally, all right? Great, he was fired, great. He doesn't get a pension. This son of a bitch should go to prison! This man politically weaponized the Federal Bureau of Investigations. And, you know, Peter Strzok, I hate to keep underscoring this guy wasn't some two-bit FBI agent. This guy was the head of counterintelligence at the FBI. Peter Strzok. He was in charge and the lead investigator in the Hillary Clinton email case. He was the lead investigator into Russia-Trump. He initiated the investigation. But no, he tried to claim in front of Congress that he had no bias. And not to mention, folks, Robert Mueller had Peter Strzok on his special counsel until they found out about these text messages. And then quietly, Robert Mueller let go of Peter Strzok and Lisa Page from the special counsel. And the public did not know about this until 4 months after Peter Strzok and Lisa Page were removed from Robert Mueller's special counsel. I mean, how much more evidence do you need that this Robert Mueller special counsel is bogus? It's a rigged game. It's a politically weaponized organ of the deep state, and it has to stop. It has to stop. It's been almost 2 years that this damn special counsel has been investigating. Over $20 million in taxpayer funds have funded this stupid operation, and they've produced not one shred of evidence between Russia and Trump. No Russia-Trump collusion, no nothing. And yet Robert Mueller purposely ignores the self-professed collusion between Hillary Clinton and the Democrats and Russia via the Russian dossier that they purchased, that Hillary Clinton admitted she purchased from Fusion GPS. And of course, the agent that was in charge of compiling the fake Russian dossier information was Christopher Steele, ex-MI6 UK intelligence. What was his specialty? Russia! So actual Russian agents, Russian assets within Russia actually aided in creating the Russian dossier. How come Robert Mueller isn't going after Hillary Clinton? This proves, folks, that there is two forms of justice. If you're a Democrat, you can get away with murder. Literally, you can get away with murder. But if you're a conservative, you're a Republican, oh man, I mean, did you hear about this poor bastard Collins? This bastard, this lawmaker, I forgot where the hell he's out of. He has to get out of his own race because he's been accused of insider trading. Get the fuck out of here. Insider trading. That's what all you scumbags do on the Beltway. That's what all you Washington, D.C. swamp monsters do. But no, he insider traded, so we've got to stop the world. But man, I'm telling you, I mean, if you're Hillary Clinton, you can house a private email server going around the Freedom of Information Act, putting classified information at risk, and we know that foreign elements got a hold of that classified information. Comey admitted to it in court. He admitted it to it when he did the press conference about it. Yet, no prosecution whatsoever. Oh, my God. Anyway, folks, once again, Giuliani, the president's lawyer, says a decision on the Mueller interview will come sometime this week. I hope that there is no interview. There should be no interview. There is no crime. And there is no obstruction of a crime. How can the president obstruct a crime he did not commit? It makes no fucking sense. We need to investigate Mueller and the conspiracy of characters that were involved with the Department of Justice and the FBI. We need to investigate all these people. Especially Peter Strzok and Mueller's little connection. And by the way, Peter Strzok got fired from the FBI, but, I mean, what kind of goddamn, what is that supposed to do? So what? He doesn't get a goddamn pension. He should be in jail for literally throwing slime on the FBI, because I don't trust the FBI, do you? I mean, when one of their own at the highest level can pull off something like this and not have 1 day in jail, is there truly justice in America? No, there is absolutely no justice in America. Jesus Christ. Let me move on, folks, okay? Once again, this Robert Mueller special counsel needs to fucking end! It's a witch hunt, it's corrupt, and everybody knows it, and I'm sick that every fucking day it continues to go, for Christ's sake. Jesus Christ. What else do we have here? Let's talk a little bit more about the president. Did y'all hear that the president visited Fort Durham? All right? Or Fort Drum, excuse me, sorry. Can you write better, engineer, for fuck's sake? Sorry, he's writing the production notes. The reason that he was out there visiting the troops in that fort was because he was signing today a $717 billion military spending bill. This will include a 2.1% raise for all our troops. So what does this mean, folks? Why is Trump funding the military as if we could be potentially going to war? Well, because we may be potentially going to war. Did we not forget that Defense Secretary Mattis, when he was visiting the troops, he said that he guarantees they will see action? And remember, didn't the president just give a $700 billion spending bill to the military about a year ago? Now we've got another $717 billion for the military. Let me tell you, Trump is not messing around. We are building our military for something, and I think that everyone in here needs to start understanding that. And all of you people that are no longer anti-Trumpers because Trump is utilizing America's dominance to restructure the global order and to pursue a whole new international relations and foreign policy, well, then get off the Trump train and go to Antifa, you faggots, because we really don't need we really don't need you. We don't need you on the Trump train. And I'm glad that the president realizes that we need to bulk up our military, since our so-called allies in the international community, since we've been asking to renegotiate our trade deals, they don't seem to be our allies anymore, do they? They don't really seem to be our allies. So the United States, I think, has to prepare for war, all right? That's all there is. That's the only way you're going to preserve peace. The only way to preserve peace is to prepare for war, baby. And I'm telling you right now, the president is spending as if he's willing and ready to go out and kick some fucking ass in the world stage. And I can't wait. Once again, the president visited Fort Drum to sign a $717 billion military spending bill. And I'm telling you, man, you can hear those war drums, can you? I can hear them. I can hear them. And you know what? We need it. We need to assert America's dominance on the world stage. We need to show these globalists that their variant of globalizing the world is not working and never will work. Institutionalist globalism is nothing more than a technocratic monarchy. Who's going to be the elites in such an institutionalist globalist system? What, the bureaucrats? What sense does that make? Bureaucrats are the most incompetent people that you could ever put at the helms of leadership. All you have to do is take a look at the past 40 years of American politics to prove that. Just take a look at the imbalanced trade deals, take a look at our deficit, take a look at where we've come from in the past 40 years. And now that we've got a capitalist president who understands that how you destroy globalism is by taking away the funding that is globalism. And who was funding globalism? It was us! It was the American people! American consumption! That's what was funding globalism! That's what was funding the European Union! That's what was funding NATO and funding the United Nations and all these fucking stupid international institutions! And Trump has put a stop to that. We're not partaking in any more of this globalist, institutionalist horse shit, and America is now throwing its nuts around on the world stage, and everybody's fucking scared shitless. And they better be. They better be, because we're spending, baby. We're spending on major military upgrades. We're spending on expanding our military. We're ready for war, baby, and I can't wait. I think we need a good fucking war for many different reasons, but that's besides the point. We need to start asserting American dominance in the international community again. We built this shit. We built the world. We built China. We built the European Union. We built Canada. It was United States consumption that built this shit. And it's time to take what's rightfully fucking ours. And that's what Donald Trump is doing. And if you morons don't understand it, if you're too feeble-minded and too simplistic to understand the fundamentals of foreign policy and international relations, then get the fuck out of here and go worship some fucking secular Karl Marx cock with Antifa, you piece of shit! Jesus Christ! Give me my freaking cola. I'm serious, man. Anyway, look, I'm going to move on. Because we have a lot of things to talk about. There are a lot of subject matters to talk about, man. The next subject matter I want to talk about is this crazy, bizarre incident that happened out of Seattle-Tacoma International Airport. Now, I'm sure everybody already knows about this, but if you haven't, some ground agent at Seattle-Tacoma International Airport by the name of Richard Bebo Russell, he basically he stole a Q400 twin-engine plane and then decides to take it for a joyride, does a loop-de-loop and a barrel roll, and then crashes the plane into an island off the coast of Washington. I mean, I'm not even joking around, folks. Now, if that isn't strange enough that some kid, 28 years old, had no reason to kill himself, first off. He seems, according to all accounts of his social media, had a great family. He was married, had a decent life. Very bizarre incident, and why this ground agent at Seattle-Tacoma International Airport, Richard Bebo Russell, decided to steal this Q400 twin-engine plane. Well, obviously, he was taking it for his last ride, folks, and what makes this very bizarre is the disturbing way he committed suicide. If you haven't heard the correspondence between him and ground control, I'm going to play some of that here in a minute. But I'm going to be honest with you, folks, I've had a very big interest in suicide. Not that I'm going to commit suicide, but I've always had a fascination with people that commit suicide, and I read about them because it's the ultimate hatred of one's existence. I mean, it's where, hey, look, I'm out. I don't want to be around. I don't want to wake up anymore. I mean, it's a very serious thing to do. And 99.9% of the time when people want to commit suicide, they are coming from a very negative, dark, macabre type place. And typically when people commit suicide and you talk to them, you're able to talk to them, they're not sounding jovial and happy and goofy like what's his name? Richard Bebo Russell. And this is what makes this suicide so bizarre and so unreal, because I have never, ever seen anyone in the history of me reading about people who have committed suicide ever have experienced a suicide in this capacity. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to listen to a little bit of the correspondence between Russell, or Bebo Russell, and the air traffic control agent, and I want you to take a listen at Richard Russell's voice, this Bebo Russell. Just listen to this guy. This doesn't sound like somebody who's trying to commit suicide. It is a very, very bizarre correspondence for somebody that's about to kill themselves. Now, let's go ahead and listen to it a little bit. I'm not going to play the whole thing. I'm just going to play, some of the main things that he said that are pretty memorable, to say the least. But, I mean, does this sound like somebody who's truly suicidal? And if it is, then where are we going in crazy? I mean, isn't this a whole new level of crazy at this point? I mean, like I said, I've been studying people that have committed suicide, and many of them do it from a very dark, a very envious, a very jealous, a very macabre place. Anyway, let me go ahead and put on this this correspondence between Richard Bebo Russell and ground control out there, or air traffic control, I should say, at Seattle-Tacoma International Airport. And believe it or not, this guy was actually sounding this jovial and goofy. I mean, it was very bizarre. The most bizarre suicide I've ever read about, seen, heard, etc. Now go ahead and put it on, engineer. This is Richard Bebo Russell, the ground agent that stole a plane, the Q400 twin-engine plane at Seattle-Tacoma International Airport. Here's his correspondence with air traffic control. Go ahead and roll it.
I got a lot of people that care about me, and it's going to disappoint them to hear that I did this. I would like to apologize to each and every one of them. Just a broken guy. Got a few screws loose, I guess. Never really knew it until now. I'm down to 2,100. I started like 30-something. 100 pounds of fuel.
Rich, you said you're at 2,100 pounds of fuel left?
Yeah, I don't know what the burnout is like on
listen to this guy.
on takeoff, but yeah, it burned quite a bit faster than I expected.
Okay.
Does this sound like somebody committing suicide to you?
The runway just off your right side in about a mile. Do you see that? That's McCord Field.
Oh man, those guys will rough me up if I tried landing there. I think I might mess something up there too. I wouldn't want to do that. Hopefully. Oh, they probably got anti-aircraft.
No, they don't have any of that stuff.
Listen to this guy.
We're just trying to find a place for you to land safely.
Oh my God.
Yeah, not quite ready to bring it down just yet, but holy smokes, I gotta stop looking at the fuel because it's going down quick.
Okay, Rich, if you could you start a left-hand turn, and we'll take you down to the southeast, please.
This is probably like jail time for life, huh? I mean, I would hope it is for a guy like me.
And
man, I mean, listen to this guy.
Right now he's just flying around.
Does this sound like somebody who's committing suicide? This is bizarre.
He just needs some help controlling his aircraft.
This is fucking bizarre.
Very good. Nah, I mean, I don't need that much help. I played some video games before. I would like to figure out how to get this cabin altitude.
Hey, stop it right there, engineer. Stop it right here. Did you hear what he said? He was like, nah, don't worry about it. I know how to fly. I've played video games before. I mean, what the fuck is this? This is unbelievable. This is why I'm saying, folks, right now, this is a disturbing suicide in which this person believes that I don't think he thinks he's in reality. I think this guy thinks he's in a video game or in a fantasy. I mean, this is the most bizarre suicide I've ever heard in my entire life. Very, very bizarre. Now, go back and do it again, engineer. Go back to him talking about video games and run it.
Get this cabin altitude, like I know where the box is. I would like to get some, make it pressurized or something, so I'm not so lightheaded.
Anyway,
minimum wage. We'll chalk it up to that. Maybe that'll grease the gears a little bit with the higher up. Maybe, yeah. Damn it, Andrew! People's lives are at stake here.
now, Rich, don't say stuff like that.
Nah, I told you I don't want to hear no one. I just want you to whisper sweet nothings into my ear. Hey, you think about laying this?
I mean, did you hear that? He kids around about, potentially, like, hurting other people. Did you hear him? He said, damn it, Andrew, people's lives are at stake here. And he's like, oh, Rich, don't say stuff like that. Oh, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to hurt anyone. I do want you to whisper sweet nothings in my ear. What the fuck kind of suicide is this? What kind of wacky, crazy are we going into? I mean, this is very disturbing, folks. I think that this is a testament on how far we've gone in America as far as off the charts mentally. I'm going to continue. There's about maybe a minute and a half left, and then we're going to talk about this a little more. And, I mean, where are we going? Where are we going if we're going this type of crazy? Go ahead, engineer.
Nah, I just told you I don't want to hear no one. I just want you to whisper sweet nothings into my ear. Hey, you think if I land this successfully, Alaska will give me a job as a pilot?
I think they would give you a job of doing anything if you could pull this off.
Yeah, right. Nah, I'm a white guy.
If you wanted to land...
Now, right there, did you hear that? He was even amidst his, like, psychosis, crazy, suicidal event, he still had an element of white guilt there. What the fuck? He has white guilt? I mean, the guy's in the air, he's doing loop-de-loops, he's doing barrel rolls, and the guy's still got white guilt. I mean, I don't know if that means anything or that says anything, but that is something to definitely highlight. Go ahead, engineer, let's finish it up.
And probably the best bet is that runway just ahead and to your left. Again, that's McCord Field. If you wanted to try, that might be the best way to set up and see if you can land there. Or just like the pilot suggests, another option would be over Puget Sound into the water.
Dang, did you talk to McCord yet? Because I don't think I'd be happy with you telling me I could land like that, because I could mess some stuff up.
Well, Rich, I already talked to him, and just like me, what we want to see is you not get hurt or anybody else get hurt. So like I said, if you want to try to land, that's probably the best place to go.
Hey, I want the coordinates of that orca with the mama orca with the baby. I want to go see that guy.
What the hell is he talking? What the hell is he talking about? I want the coordinates to the orca. I mean, if y'all haven't heard, there was an orca in the news as of late, who was carrying its dead calf and swimming with it, and it was caught by spectators. And this guy, he's like, hey, I want the coordinates of that orca with that baby. I want to go see that guy. I mean, what kind of crazy are the people of America going down into at this point in time? I mean, this was a very sick and bizarre suicide, and I think that America should be very concerned about this. I mean, this is not a joke. I mean, this is not your traditional suicide in which people are, coming from a very negative, very dark, very macabre place. This guy sounded very jovial about stealing an airplane, doing loop-de-loops and barrel rolls, seeing horizons, and one of his, which wasn't captured in that accumulation of recordings, but he did say that he was thinking about doing one more, quote, barrel roll, and then throwing the nose down and calling it a night. I mean, folks, this is very, very disturbing, and I think that we need to take a look at ourselves as Western civilization. I mean, if we've got people committing suicide in this capacity, then there's something very wrong with society at this point. There's something very wrong on how we're educating our children. There's something very wrong on how we're mentally medicating our children, etc. I think it's very disturbing that this guy, Richard Bebo Russell, had a great family. His family can't even understand why the hell he killed himself. His family is perplexed. They have no idea. This guy had a wife. This guy owned a business with his wife at one time. They owned a bakery together. They sold it off so they get closer to the family. I mean, this guy was having a great life. I mean, what would cause this guy, and did you hear him? He said, I'm just a broken guy with a few screws loose that I didn't know until now, I guess. I mean, that's a very bizarre statement. You didn't know you had a few screws loose until now? I'm going to be honest with you, folks. This is a very, very bizarre suicide. And he acted as if he was like in a fantasy or a video game. I mean, this is a whole new realm of crazy. And I think people should really take notice of this. This is not a joke. I'm very disturbed by Richard Russell and his suicide, man, because I had never heard a suicide like that before in my life. Never. And you know what? I want to be honest with you. Some people have talked about it could be MK Ultra, it could be brainwashing. I don't want to go into that direction, but it definitely sounded bizarre to me, okay? Now, if we want to get into the bizarre, let's talk a little bit about QAnon in relation to this. Did y'all hear? There's a QAnon connection to Richard Bebo Russell. Now, you all know that we dox QAnon, and, you know, he's a fruit bowl, furry, homosexual poet that works with a team of people to concoct these stupid little posts and shit. But there is a QAnon connection, folks. The QAnon followers, which have now gone as well into a new realm of crazy, have suggested that there's a QAnon connection. That Richard Bebo Russell stole a Q400. A connection to QAnon. And that Richard Bebo Russell's flight pattern was that of a Q. Now, if you take a look at his flight pattern, what he does, he goes out of Seattle Tacoma Airport into the Pacific and then circles around numerous times, which kind of looks like a Q if you really, look at it. And, I mean, just I don't want to tell you the amount of QAnon connections that these stupid QAnon nut jobs are connecting to this, okay? But one thing I do want to highlight, let's just go there. Let's just go where the QAnon people are going. And let's just pretend that, okay, QAnon had a connection. What the fuck does that mean? Does that mean that QAnon, this, quote, military intelligence guy, can somehow, take control of people's minds and purposely have them steal a Q-based plane and then do a Q flight pattern? And I don't understand where in the fuck these people are getting this QAnon connection, man. And of course, some of them are saying, well, no, Ghost, you don't understand. It wasn't Q that pulled off the hijacking. It was the deep state. It was the deep state trying to send a message to QAnon. Are you fucking kidding me? I mean, this is what they think. I'm not joking. This is why I told you when I doxed QAnon, this is the kind of crazy that I was trying to prevent, but obviously I was too fucking late. I was too fucking late. But they're saying that, no, you don't understand, Ghost. This was the deep state sending a message to QAnon. That's why it was on a Q400. That's why he took a Q flight pattern. It all fits, dude. You don't understand. It all fits. I'm telling you, man, we need to denounce these QAnon faggots. All right, and I'm denouncing them now. If you follow QAnon, you should have your voter's fucking license revoked. Should have your voter card burnt in front of you because you are a fucking retard. All right, you were an idiot. Jesus Christ. Anyway, let me move on, folks. Once again, we have a lot to talk about here. Did y'all hear a Gallup poll came out recently suggesting that Democrats prefer socialism as opposed to communism? Oh, really? Is that a big fucking surprise, really? Jesus Christ. I mean, this makes me sick. Democrats want socialism. I mean, look at the main socialist mouthpiece that they have out here, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She's dumber than a box of rocks. She doesn't even know her own socialist ideology. She's so fucking stupid. But that is the common mental capacity, folks, of people that claim to want to be socialists. Anyway, folks, this was out of a Gallup poll. For the first time in more than a decade, Democrats have a more positive view on socialism than they do capitalism, according to a Gallup poll. Attitudes towards socialism among Democrats have not changed much since 2010, with 57% view it positively. That's socialism, according to the Gallup poll. The major change amongst Democrats has been an less upbeat attitude towards capitalism, dropping to 47% positive this year, lower than any of the three previous measures, according to a statement by Gallup themselves. Republicans remain much more positive about capitalism than about socialism, with little change since the views since their 2010 poll on this matter. About 71% of GOP voters viewed capitalism positively, while just 16% of them, which aren't fucking conservative or GOP voters, had a view of positivity on socialism. I mean, look, the reason that I'm sick and tired of hearing these stupid losers holler about socialism is that they don't even understand what socialism and communism means. It means that you and the collective have to do something together for the sake of all. But you see, folks, most people that want socialism, they want socialism because they want something free individually. They want free college. They want free food. They want free housing. It's not about the collective, and that is what has completely been thrown out the window when it comes to these people that claim that they want to be socialist or communists. And a good case in point is take a look at the latest Occupy protest in Portland, in which you had all these leftists, so-called socialists and communists, occupy the front of the ICE headquarters and the immigration headquarters in Portland. I mean, all you have to do is YouTube search that. I mean, the liberal city of Portland itself had to physically remove these occupiers because the whole scene turned into a biohazard situation. And take a look at all the mess and trash and disgusting filth that these people left over. What these people understand is that's not communism. That's not socialism. Communism and socialism forces everybody within the collective to do something, to be productive, to keep society clean, to keep society safe, to keep society fed, etc. It is a collective, and what most of these dumbasses who believe in socialism and communism believe, that if socialism and communism become a reality, that they don't have to do anything. That they just have to sit back and collect a check, and they can just become fat, cellulite, fucking dripping off their asses, pieces of garbage, either on the internet or watching television. And that's not what it is, you dumbasses. You know, folks, in a socialist and communist society, I hate to keep reiterating this, but it bears repeating because these socialists and communists don't understand this. You don't have the right to protest. You don't have the right to talk against the government. As a matter of fact, you don't have the right to do anything unless the government tells you you can do it. You don't have the freedom to choose what job you want. You don't have the freedom to choose how much food you eat. You don't have the freedom to do anything. You relinquish those freedoms to the state in any socialist or communist model. And when you are no longer of any use to the state, if you are not doing anything as a collective, if you are not a farmer, if you're not somebody who's working, if you're not somebody who's a part of the communist or socialist government, if you are a completely dread on society and there's no use for you, then it's up to the government of socialism or communism to starve you to death. And that's why communism has no problem, socialism has no problem getting rid of massive amounts of people that are not going to help the collective. That's why during the Great Leap Forward of Mao Zedong's tenure, the Great Leap Forward, in which he vowed that he was going to take China from a peasantry-based society into an industrial society, he purposely killed almost 50 million people within the Great Leap Forward. And many of them starved to death because, well, those people have no use for our collective society. They're not going to make a contribution to our collective society. So we as the communist government are making a decision not to feed these people so they could starve to death, so we no longer have to take care of these burdens on our society. And that's what many of you people that are socialists and communists just don't understand. That if you're insignificant now in capitalism, if you can't get yourself a job now in capitalism, then you're not going to be able to make it in socialism or communism. You're not going to be able to make it in a collective society because you have to make a contribution not for yourself, not for your own self-interest, but to the collective. And as you can see from the modern socialist in America today, none of these people are true collectivists. Because if they were true collectivists, folks, they would have been at that Occupy protest that was just recently disbanded in Portland, in which they were in front of the ICE headquarters, in front of the immigration headquarters. They would have forced everybody who was occupying out there to make sure the whole place was clean, to make sure the whole place was safe, to make sure the whole place was something of an example, so that all the cameras that were there taking pictures of this event can show that collective ideology and socialism and communism does work, and that those people that are supposed communists and socialists that were occupying ICE and the immigration offices in Portland, they would have showed the world that there are people that are willing to oblige a collectivist ideology. There are people that are willing to be selfless and work for the greater good of all. But that doesn't happen, does it, folks? And it ain't gonna happen. Because, folks, there ain't no better social organization other than capitalism. Because under capitalism, you can be as selfish as you want to be. You can pursue your own self-interest and nobody else's. But by default, you are helping the collective, because the spoils of your labor, the money that you make, when you spend the money, you are helping the collective by default, whether you like it or not. By spending your money, you're keeping the shop open, which is probably ran by a business owner, which is keeping somebody employed, etc. That's what capitalism is about. It gives the individual the freedom, the individual the choice, the individual the decision. That's why, folks, if you're giving a job by a communist, if you're given a job by a socialist and you say no, you're going to be thrown in jail or executed. But if you say no to a capitalist when it comes to a job, nothing happens. You just don't get the job, and you go somewhere else and try to find another job. And for all this bullshit that capitalism is exploitation, that is fucking false. Capitalism is not exploitation. It is a mutually agreed agreement. It is a mutual understanding. That's why I keep telling you, folks, if you were offered, or not offered, if you were demanded to do a job in communism or socialism and refused, you would be put in jail or executed. So all these assholes that are claiming that they prefer socialism and communism don't know shit. They don't know the first thing about collective ideology, and the proof is in their little Occupy protests. And the fact that they all leave it slovenly and biohazard-ridden and dirty and disgusting. Who wants to live in that? Who would want to live in socialism or communism if the future of your community was going to be fucking trash-ridden, broken everything? No one wants to live in that. So that's why these people that have been polled in this Gallup poll that they would prefer socialism as opposed to capitalism, because they're lazy fucks. They would rather do absolutely nothing than take it upon themselves to create whatever it is that they want in their stupid, simplistic heads. Because that's what capitalism allows you to do. It allows you to create your own destiny, to carve out your own path to success. But you have to have the ambition. You have to have the creativity. You have to have the prowess, the knowledge, the ability, etc. And you have to have the will. You have to have the will to continue forward amidst all odds. And many people don't have that. That's why they think it would be better to be some kind of a goddamn socialist than a capitalist. Because in their feeble, disgusting, non-thinking minds, They believe that they're never going to have to work in socialism. They believe that they're never going to have to do nothing but just watch TV and be on the internet. That's not how communism and socialism works, you fucking idiots. It's you and everybody in society will be forced to work for the better of the collective, you fucking idiot. And if you refuse to work, you're thrown in jail or you're executed. Stupid morons. Anyway, we're now 10 minutes in to the third and final hour of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And of course, I am your host, the man they call Ghost. And once again, folks, I want to thank you very much for tuning in with me. Before we get started on anything else, I'd like to remind everybody to please spread this show link around like wildfire and let everybody know that True Capitalist Radio is in effect and in the house. And we are live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Texas Time, right here on the official website of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And I love being independent now. Type in your browsers, add to your favorites, add to your bookmarks, ghost.report. All right? That's the official website of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. Make sure to spread that everywhere throughout the internets and throughout the world. Remember, this is a pure word-of-mouth podcast, pure word-of-mouth broadcast, and it's up to you to continue the underground scene that we've created out here in the internet. I'm telling you, if you're listening to the sound of my voice, you are listening to the political underground. And if you have not done so, folks, please follow me on my only social media representation on the internet today, and that's on Gab, folks. If you don't have yourself a Gab account, then I don't know what the hell you're doing, for Christ's sake. It's the last bastion of freedom of speech in social media today. You can follow me on there under the name Politics Ghost. All right, all one word, no underscores. Politics Ghost is the name to follow on Gab. And I strongly advise you to get one, man, all right? It's the last bastion of freedom of speech out here. And not to mention, man, what I like about Gab, most people are politically aware. I mean, I may not agree with some of the people on here, but everybody's political. And look, we have to be politically serious, baby. I don't know how much more I've got to underscore this, but we got to be politically serious, all right? And by the way, folks, if you have not heard, I just saw that fucking what? Quantum is at $4 or under $4 a goddamn coin, for Christ's sake. I'm telling you, 35 Quantum right now until Baller Friday, all right, will get you an Inner Circle slot. That's how much I believe in Quantum, and that's why I'm telling you, I'm giving you all more than half price off of an Inner Circle slot, but it has to be paid in Quantum. 35 Quantum. And I'm telling you, man, that's how much I believe in Quantum, baby. As a matter of fact, another reason is, you all know we had to kick out a lot of cartoon porn fetish sick assholes out of the Inner Circle, and it was the group. I mean, the group finally said that, look, many of us are serious business, baby. Many of us are out here making six figures. Many are out here, you know, doing our thing. We're trading crypto. We're trading stocks. We're getting businesses. We don't want some My Little Pony jerk-off. We don't want some cartoon fetish enemy waxing their care. We don't want none of this stuff. We want serious business, man. We want people that are capitalist and that are going to aid each other in making each other better. And that's what we do, man. Like I said, that's what we do, man. I mean, many of the guys in the Inner Circle have made tens of thousands of dollars just chilling and kicking it with us and discussing crypto, discussing stocks, etc. So once again, folks, I'm taking 35 Quantum QTUM for an Inner Circle slot just till Baller Friday, and that's it. Okay? So if you ever wanted to be in the Inner Circle and you wanted to have a decent price, there it is. And I'm just doing that not just to get, some Inner Circle members that we lost in this, cartoon porn fetish purge, but at the same time, I'm proving that I'm down with QTUM, baby. I am down with QTUM, and I'm willing to accept QTUM, baby. So come and get some. Anyway, let me move on, folks. We're already, Jesus Christ, almost 15 minutes in to the third and final hour. Let's talk a little bit about some international news. And the thing I want to talk about, folks, is America unleashing economic warfare on the world, baby. I mean, I told you we just needed a capitalist in the White House, boy, and we were going to kick ass and take names. Now, why is America unleashing economic warfare on the world? Well, because, folks, we've had a lot of these countries flexing nuts at us militarily. And instead of engaging into a military confrontation with nation states, what we do as capitalists, since we are, America that is, supplying the money for most of the world, we just deny them the money. We just deny them the funds that they traditionally get in these imbalanced trade deals and all this other, agreements, written agreement nonsense that politicians of past have obligated us to. So, as I stated, folks, I mean, I personally believe that what's happening here is Trump is purposely running anyone who has flexed nuts at us in the past year and a half. Any country that has flexed nuts at us, Trump is asserting sanctions and tariffs and asserting them hard on these countries. Now, I'm going to go through every country and explain to you what exactly I'm talking about. And let's start first with our good friends up north. Well, they're not my friends. They're pieces of garbage because they're ungrateful, and now they're finding themselves in a precarious situation. You see, I've always said that Canada always talks garbage about every country because they know that they're in the backs of America and that America will always help them and protect them, etc. Well, that was until Justin Trudeau thought that he could backstab our president, Donald Trump, at the G7 summit. Y'all remember that? Remember when Trump left the G7 summit early so he can go kick it with North Korea's Kim Jong-un in Singapore? And right as the president left the G7 summit, Justin Trudeau comes out and says, well, I'm very disappointed, but we're going to have to assert very strict tariffs on the Americas because I am not going to take this. And he thought he was talking all big and badass, double-crossing the President of the United States. That was the worst mistake Justin Trudeau ever did for himself and his country. Because what has happened? The President, I'm talking about Donald Trump, has literally... he has put the wrath of Saudi Arabia on Canada. I mean, literally, lest we forget, Saudi Arabia and America have a very tight alliance at this point in time. Lest we forget when Trump went to Saudi Arabia and Saudi Arabia gave him a tour of Mecca. And do you remember that whole Donald Trump and General Sisi and the king of Saudi Arabia all touching that globe that glowed? Remember that glowing globe, etc.? Well, we're pretty tight with Saudi Arabia, and I personally believe that Donald Trump basically asked Saudi Arabia to take care of this Canada problem. Because remember, Canada, they were, quote, responding aggressively to our aluminum and our steel tariffs by saying that they were going to play hardball and increase the tariffs on us as a response, even though Justin Trudeau made supposedly somewhat of a deal or a handshake deal at the G7 with Trump, backstabs Trump as he's in the air going to Singapore. Well, now that Saudi Arabia is now doing our dirty work, and let's be honest, I mean, for those that don't believe that Donald Trump sent Saudi Arabia to muscle up Canada, I mean, do you really think Saudi Arabia got this butthurt over a virtue signal of the Canadian ambassador to Saudi Arabia criticizing the arrests of two supposed women feminists in Saudi Arabia? Do you think that Saudi Arabia would do all that it's done thus far I mean, cut flights to Canada, recall Saudi Arabian students from Canada, refuse Canadian citizens in Saudi Arabia medical care. I mean, they're selling all Canadian assets, and we all know the Saudis are worth billions, so they're selling Canadian assets. You all know that this is not all to do with, a little bit of criticism of the woman policy of Saudi Arabia. This is basically America sending Saudi Arabia to do our dirty work. And now that Saudi Arabia indirectly threatened Canada, did y'all see that? I know we've talked about it a couple of times, in which the state-run media of Saudi Arabia tweeted out the skyline of Toronto and what looks like a plane beelining, heading nose first into the city of Toronto. And, Canada's a little upset there. They're like, oh my God, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what to do. Let me call America. And Justin Trudeau calls America and says, hey, I need some help. Saudi Arabia's going to kill us, and I don't know why. All I did was just say, it was a bad thing that they jailed those 2 feminists. I don't know what's going on. Help, United States. And you know what the United States is doing? Deal with it yourself, Trudeau. Trudeau's calling the EU. Oh, help me. I've got the Saudi Arabians. They're going to come kill me. I need help. And you know what the EU's doing? Hey, we've got our own problems. Deal with it yourself, Trudeau. And Trudeau recently came out and admitted that we're all alone on the world stage. It's not fair. They're going to kill us, and we're going to have Saudi Arabia, no one's helping us, and we're going to have terrorism in Canada because I'm Justin Trudeau, and I virtue signaled my way into a very hard conflict that I cannot solve myself. I'm telling you, folks, I've already predicted a terrorist act within Canada that is a 9/11-like attack that is going to shock Canada. And you know what? You don't have anybody to blame but Justin Trudeau. He should have never have double-crossed the United States, and he should have never have, played this little virtue signaling game. You know what I'm talking about? I mean, Justin Trudeau finds any way possible to virtue signal for political gain. It's so disingenuous that people are finally starting to get tired of it. Do you remember when Justin Trudeau went to visit India and he got out and him and his whole family were dressed in Indian garb like a fucking idiot? And the Prime Minister of India didn't even show up to shake this guy's hand because it was a fucking insult. The fucking disingenuous virtue signaling liberalism that goddamn Justin Trudeau tries to shove down our throats. I'm telling you, people are getting tired of it. All you Canadians, when there is a terrorist act on your soil, you can blame none other than Justin Trudeau. That's who you can blame. All right, you can blame Justin Trudeau for virtue signaling his way into power and him not knowing what the hell he's doing on the world stage. Now, what could stop a pending terrorist attack in the vicinity of Canada? If Canada bows down, okay? If Canada bows down and says, America, I'm sorry, I will not raise tariffs. I will take off all tariffs. I will do whatever you want. Just please tell Saudi Arabia to leave me alone. Tell Saudi Arabia to leave Canada alone, please. That's the only thing that's going to save him, man. That's the only thing that's going to save Trudeau, because if he bows down to Trump and he goes into a deal, because look, it's going to cost Canada now. It's going to cost Canada for backstabbing Trump. It's going to cost Canada. So Canada's going to have to bow down to Trump so that Trump can stop the Saudi Arabians. Because what is Justin Trudeau going to do? Justin Trudeau isn't even respected. I mean, what's going to happen is Justin Trudeau is going to have to bow down to America, and then America will call off their Saudi Arabian goons, and, Canadians are going to be worse off than you were before Justin Trudeau thought that he had a sack. And let me tell you, if you don't think that it's very easy at this point for Saudi Arabia to, have some of their sleeper cells inside Canada to detonate themselves, you got another thing coming. Lest we forget that it was Justin Trudeau trying to virtue signal to the world when the president, Donald Trump, was first elected and clamping down on the border. Remember, Justin Trudeau was like, "Oh, the world, come over here. Come over here and I will give you everything. I will give you free citizenship. We accept everybody all over the world." And now they have such an immigration situation in Canada that the former arena that where what's his name, Bruce Jenner, now Caitlyn Jenner, won the gold medal for the decathlon. That arena that Canada used for that Olympics is now being used for immigration and refugees. And remember, Justin Trudeau actually tried to justify bringing in battle-hardened ISIS fighters into the border of Canada and giving them refugee status, folks. So you don't think that you Canadians have the enemy within? And the guy who brought the enemy within was none other than Justin Trudeau himself? And on top of that, Canada, did you know, and look, maybe you already know, but I keep repeating this because you fucking Canadians need to hear this. Justin Trudeau sold off all of Canada's gold reserves to fund this little immigration project. So how culturally enriched do you goddamn Canadians feel right about now, huh? How culturally enriched do you Canadians feel right about now, boy? I'm sure a little bit too culturally enriched. So once again, that's just one instance in which America has implemented economic warfare on a country. What's another country? Turkey. That's right, our good friend Erdogan right now. Him and the Turkish are partying like it's 1929 right now. I mean, it is a complete and total crash on the lira. And why did Donald Trump truly throw sanctions on Turkey? It was not because of this pasture. This pasture is nothing more than just a vehicle being used to justify the sanctions to the everyday people. But the reason why Donald Trump did this is because Turkey has been flexing its nuts for the past 2 fucking years. I mean, it has been threatening Israel. It has been threatening to galvanize the Islamic world. It's been meddling in Syrian affairs. It's been going after the Kurds in northern Iraq and the Euphrates. I mean, there's a lot of things that this Turkey, this fucking Erdogan has been doing that has been against the wishes of the United States. And not to mention, folks, our foreign policy right now, the United States' foreign policy in the Middle East, is to pit Iran against Saudi Arabia. That's our foreign policy. I mean, as you can see, it's already starting to emerge. I called this foreign policy back in 2016 for all those folks that have been listening to me that long. And what's happening here is that when we pit Iran versus Saudi Arabia, it's going to be a grand Islamic war that is going to comprise most of the Middle East. And what's going to happen is that all these Yehudis are going to be drawn from all their Western civilizations to this jihad epicenter so that they can defend their variant of Muslim, whether it's Sunni or Shia. Now, why is this our foreign policy as America to pit Saudi Arabia against Iran? Because, folks, there are over 1.3 billion Muslims in the world today. And let's just say, for the sake of argument, that only 10% of them are truly Islamic extremists. Do the math. What's 10% of 1.3 million? That's almost the population of the United States. So just imagine that even if we were just to make a conservative estimate of 10% of the Islamic world being terrorist, I mean, that's almost the equivalent of the United States population. So how are we going to get rid of this Muslim problem without directly confronting them in a warlike capacity? We, the United States, with our black operations and intelligence services, we are inducing a war between these two sides because, first of all, we are enemies with Iran. We want Iran to be completely obliterated. We know that the domestic population wants the Iranians to, or at least the Iranian government to cease to exist. And moreover, folks, we're trying to deplete the amount of Islamic people that are on the earth without making it blatant that we're trying to get rid of Islamic fanatics off the earth. All right? I mean, this objective of pitting Saudi Arabia and Iran kills like 80 birds with one stone. On top of thinning the herd of Muslims, it's also going to help bankrupt both Iran and Saudi Arabia. Now, why would we want to see Saudi Arabia bankrupt? Because, folks, Saudi Arabia owns almost 70% of the United States debt. And this was exposed by a Freedom of Information Act request by Bloomberg, of all publications, Bloomberg publication back in 2016. And that it was a secret agreement that was done in the 70s in which the Saudi Arabian government owns 70% of the United States debt. So let's say that we pit these two Middle Eastern powers together and Saudi Arabia finds itself in a very precarious economic position because of this great war with Iran. Well, then our debt can be leveraged to some capacity, which in turn will help eliminate it completely. Secondly, we want to deplete the influence that both of these countries have over the entire Middle East. I mean, lest we forget that Saudi Arabia, prior to the purge, when it was ran by King Abdullah and his children, they were Wahhabists. They were the ones that were funding the madrasas in Indonesia, in Pakistan, and they were funding the Taliban, they were funding Al-Qaeda, etc. And you see, now we are using those assets that were at once by previous administrations used against the American people. These Mujahideen, Al-Qaeda, ISIS assets, which are all CIA, by the way. If you don't think that CIA is in charge of all these Mujahideen, which evolved into Al-Qaeda, which evolved into ISIS fighters, if you don't believe that the CIA is in control of these fighters, you're an idiot. You're an utter idiot. I mean, why do you think that Trump was so confident that he was going to destroy ISIS? Because he knew it was a CIA operation. And all Trump had to do was just end the CIA operation, and then there went ISIS. Where's ISIS? They're nowhere to be fucking found. But I'll tell you where you're starting to see them. You're starting to see ISIS in Pakistan. You're starting to see ISIS in Afghanistan. And the reason is, folks, well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's continue on with Turkey, okay? Once again, Turkey partying like it's 1929. The president's sanctions actually, it was perfect timing for the president because Turkey was already going through some various, very drastic economic contractions, and the economic sanctions put by America just made it worse. And right now that the lira is crashing, Erdogan doesn't know what to do. The head of state of Turkey does not know what to do. I mean, today he referred to America as, quote, economic terrorists. Economic terrorists, for Christ's sake. Can you believe that shit? I mean, he doesn't know what to do. I mean, I read today that the Turkish markets banned shorting as an opportunity of speculation. Banned shorting. And why would they ban shorting, folks? Because they're trying to prevent any more sell-offs or over-speculation of the decreasing lira. The lira, of course, the fiat currency for Turkey. And Erdogan doesn't know what to do. I tell you this, if Erdogan had any kind of sense, he would do what I suggested to Trudeau, is bow down to Trump, bow down to Trump, send the pastor and send whoever else that you have in jail that's an American, and just listen to what we have to say and shut the fuck up, Erdogan. But you know what? Erdogan already said that he's going to refuse to, quote, bow down to Trump. He refuses to, quote, bow down to Trump. So if he's going to refuse to bow down, I'd like to see how he's going to, you know, how exactly are you going to remedy this economic situation, Erdogan? I mean, let's just say for the sake of argument, Erdogan gets so pissed that he wants to move some troops into fucking Syria or some shit. I mean, at some point, not only is he not going to have enough money to pay his troops, but if his troops are getting wind that back in the home country, their families are out in the street, their savings accounts are no longer valid, the money is worthless, and the whole country's in chaos, do you think these Turkish military people are going to want to fight? Do you think that these Turkish military are going to fight? They're not going to fight. So that's what an element of this economic warfare that Trump is implementing on the world is doing. It is depleting the military might of countries that are flexing nuts at us without us having to lift a fucking finger. And even though they may think that we're economic terrorists and we're doing this to hurt the country, what are they going to do about it? They ain't going to do nothing. Turkey can't do nothing. I mean, I'm serious. I mean, how's it going to pay its troops? And even if its troops are out there fighting, you think that they're going to want to continue fighting knowing that their families are suffering and they don't have any goddamn savings, they're fucking starving, they can't eat? You think that they're going to continue to fight when they hear that back home? Hell no. Hell no. But we'll see what happens with Turkey since Erdogan doesn't want to bow down to Trump. But not bowing down to Trump is going to cost you your goddamn position of power, Erdogan. Mark my words. Mark my words. If you don't bow down to Trump or figure out how to remedy this economic problem that you have in your country, you are going to be removed, kebab. Do you hear me? There's going to be a remove kebab situation in your future, Erdogan. Anyway, let's go to the next country that we're inflicting and unleashing economic warfare on. Iran. Iran now is on the brink of economic collapse due to the U.S. sanctions that have been implemented. And we've doubled down on these sanctions even more here recently, and it is hurting. It is unbelievably hurting the Iranian country and the Iranian people. And you know, it's hurting so much that the Ayatollah came out today. Okay? The Ayatollah came out today, and this is the Iran supreme leader. I mean, this is the guy who really controls the country. He came out today and said that he refuses to sit down with Trump. He refuses the unconditional meeting with Trump, and he says that he doesn't want no war, and he blames his government for the economic problems that are happening in Iran. Can you believe that? The Ayatollah is blaming the Iranian government for all the economic problems, for Christ's sake. The fucking Ayatollah, the supreme leader, is distancing himself from his own fucking government. I never thought I'd see the day, baby. I mean, this is proof. This underscores that Iran is on its last fucking legs. Iran is on its last legs. When you've got the Ayatollah trying to distance himself from his own Iranian government, there's something majorly wrong in Iran. And I'm telling you, man, Iran is just there for the taking. I don't think that they have any defense if anybody decides to go in there and invade their asses. I mean, look at the Iranian supreme leader, the Ayatollah. He's blaming the goddamn economic woes of the country on the government. Oh, man. And look, I've told you for many years that the people of Iran don't want to be under this fundamentalist autocratic crap. And I'm telling you, man, these sanctions are having a hell of a fucking impact on Iran. When you've got the Ayatollah blaming his own government for his economic woes. There's something happening. There's something happening. It's only a matter of time before Iran collapses in on itself. But I'm telling you, Iran, what you need to do, just like I told Turkey, just like I told Canada, you need to bow down to Donald Trump. All right? Iran, you need to bow down to Donald Trump and have an unconditional sit-down meeting, and you need to come clean, Iran, on what you have on the EU and the Obama administration for them to pay you off $260-something billion so that you can, quote, pause your fucking nuclear program. That's what Trump wants to know. That's what we want to know. And if you're going to refuse an unconditional sit down with us, well, then don't be surprised if the Ayatollah's head is beheaded here in the next 6 months. Don't be surprised if the government of Iran is overtaken by its own fucking people. They are there for the taking. I'm telling you, whoever, hopefully it's either Israel, it's the United States, somebody goes in there and kicks some fucking ass. Because I'm telling you, the people do not want this shit anymore. They don't want to be involved with any fundamentalist Shia crap. They're tired of it. They're tired. Now, the next country that we've inflicted economic warfare on, China. Oh, man. China doesn't know what the fuck to do. Because how the hell are they going to offset the $600 billion that we traditionally give them in an imbalanced trade deal on an annual basis? How are they going to supplement that? What's going to offset that $600 billion that they were expecting this year but are not getting because the United States is like, look, you don't want to renegotiate our trade deal? Well, we're implementing tariffs. We're implementing 25% tariffs on $250 billion worth of Chinese goods. And we're going to continue unless you, China, start making this trade deal a little bit better, a little bit more malleable. And it's not even like the president wants this as an even-keel trade relationship. This is $600 billion that we send China on an annual basis in an imbalanced trade deal. I mean, we can't take $250 billion off? Huh? We can't take $300 billion off in a negotiation? No, China thinks that we Americans owe this to these pieces of garbage. They think that we don't have the right to renegotiate our own money on how we spend it. That's how the Chinese look at us. That's how the Chinese respect Americans. And you know what? Trump isn't going to stand for it. So as a result, Trump has asserted massive tariffs on China. And I know China is trying to assert massive tariffs on us, but they don't buy enough from us for it to even matter. Okay? I mean, we're $600 billion in a trade deficit with China. What the hell could they actually put tariffs on that's actually going to matter? Besides soybeans. I mean, seriously. We hold the cards in this economic game, and the longer China holds out on this shit, the longer China continues to play economic hardball, the closer it gets from its economic house of cards falling on top of them. And I'm telling you, Chinese, if you don't play ball here and don't try to renegotiate the trade deal, when your economy collapses, there's going to be over 1 billion people that are going to be pissed off at the communist government. There's going to be over 1 billion people that are going to be starving because, lest we forget, China, that you are asserting tariffs on U.S. commodities that are used to feed your country. So I'm telling you right now, China, it better start getting its act together and stop thinking it's going to be able to flex nuts to America, because we're the ones that are holding 4 aces, pieces of shit. Don't try to sit here and bluff us with a deuce 7 offsuit. All right, we get what you're doing. Now, right now, I don't know if you've been noticing the Chinese stock market, but it's been crashing thanks to these tariffs that the president has been putting on China. Not to mention, China has been running the money printing presses on all cylinders. Its banks, its own Chinese banks, are a little hesitant to lend money. There is a lot of things going on, and not to mention their GDP growth is starting to slow down. So these are all indicators that their goddamn economy is about to tumble down to the ground unless they come back to the negotiating table and bow down to Trump. I mean, that's all you goddamn chopstick up the ass having idiots need to do. Stop blindfolding yourselves with dental floss and start realizing that if you sons of bitches don't come up with some kind of renegotiation, then you're putting your own sustainability, the communist government of China's sustainability, at risk. You're putting your own sustainability at risk. I'm telling you, folks, China, they need the United States. I mean, where are they going to make up that extra $600 billion that they expect every year on an imbalanced trade deal basis from America? As a matter of fact, folks, that's why we know, as America, we have all these countries by the balls. Because many of these countries, if not all of them, are all socialist and communist. Meaning that they plan budgets on a collective basis. Meaning that the government centrally plans everything. And just imagine that many of these governments have centrally planned the natural resources and the materials and the revenues based upon the revenues that they're expecting on an annual basis. For instance, China's expecting $600 billion on an annual basis from America. For instance, Turkey, now that we have sanctions, they're in shit out of luck. I mean, Canada, I can go on. The EU, that's another group. Now, don't get me wrong, even though the EU is starting to desperately attempt to negotiate with the EU, or the US, excuse me. Yeah, the EU is desperately attempting to negotiate with the United States, hence Juncker coming to D.C. and having that press conference with the president about the soybean deal. Lest we forget, folks, even though we've got the EU claiming they are trying to renegotiate with America, the EU is now, it's now a bout of two faces. Did you all hear that Merkel is planning on meeting Vladimir Putin this week? Now, why in the hell would Merkel be meeting with Vladimir Putin other than to negotiate a trade deal to offset what the United States is trying to renegotiate? And if that's the case, then what, like the president has been saying, what are we doing as Americans paying so much for NATO? I mean, that alliance is intended to supposedly be a deterrent for Russia. And yet one of the biggest members of NATO, Germany, is sending their head of state over to meet with Putin. And in my opinion, it's because they are trying to negotiate a trade deal to offset the tariffs and the renegotiation that Trump's doing with the EU. Moreover, the EU wants to continue to do business with Iran as well. So, in my personal opinion, them doing this is a blatant slap in the face to America, and it shows that the EU were never allies of America ever. I mean, if they're willing to go behind the backs amidst American sanctions to continue to do business with Iran, and now to try to meet with Vladimir Putin to come up with some deal, what kind of allies are the EU, for Christ's sake? Why is the United States paying for NATO, for Christ's sake? Either way, regardless of what the EU does, Merkel can meet with Putin. The EU can continue to try to do business with Iran. Have you taken a look at the euro as of late? The euro's going down, 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 down. And why? Because, folks, we hold the cards to this game. All right? I mean, there's no beating us. We're the ones with the money. We're the ones with the goddamn money, for Christ's sake. And last but not least, the last country that America is implementing economic warfare on is Russia itself. Now, Russia is in economic dire straits. They sure as hell did not need the recent sanctions that were put on by the president last week in response to that ex-Russian agent in the UK being poisoned by what is being alleged as a Russian nerve agent. So with that being said, Russia is taken, by surprise by the U.S. sanctions. And Putin, have you noticed? Putin doesn't even know what to do about these fucking sanctions. He doesn't even know how to react. He hasn't even reacted yet. Haven't y'all noticed that? I mean, Putin is in shock. He's like, what the fuck? I thought, what the hell's going on? And let me tell you something, folks, all right? The majority of Russians, I mean, if it push came to shove, they would want to see Vladimir Putin removed from power. The only thing that's keeping Vladimir Putin in power, believe it or not, is the world media. That's it. The world media. Every time the world media claims that Russian hackers are interfering with this election and that election, and Russian hackers got these emails, and Russian hackers this and that, it makes Vladimir Putin look like a supreme, strong leader amongst his people. And it's these media reports on a worldwide scale that is sustaining the power of Vladimir Putin at this point in time. Because, folks, haven't you heard about the countless protests that are happening on a consistent basis out there in Russia, demanding the removal of Vladimir Putin, for Christ's sake? And all Vladimir Putin can do is put these people in jail or kill them. But you can only put so many people in jail, and you can only kill so many people, Vladimir Putin. And that's why I'm saying, if the media would just stop giving Russia so much fucking credit, because they don't deserve it, folks. Let's be honest. I mean, they don't deserve this amount of credit, but since the media is hyping them up, this is what is sustaining the power of Vladimir Putin domestically in Russia. Because remember, the Russians, they like to see Mother Russia involved in the world. They like seeing Mother Russia like being some Billy Badass on the world stage. And as long as the Russians flip on their boob tube and see in international news that Russia is somehow to be reckoned with, or Russia is in charge of causing disorder around the world, and Russia is this dangerous hacking country, I mean, this gives all those dopey, cockeyed, mouth-breathing, vodka-drinking Russians something to live for. And that's why they have sustained, or at least put up, with Putin in power. And that's what sustained Putin's power, folks. That's what sustained his power. The fact that the world media keeps putting Putin on a fucking pedestal. And Russia, and Russian hackers, and all this shit. But I'm telling you, Russia is in now economic dire straits. Now that we've implemented these sanctions here recently, they've already been in economic dire straits. Now, I know Putin said something about the fact that he was going to sell United States securities or some shit. Who gives a shit, fucking Putin? All right, look, you hold nothing on the United States. You've already kicked out all the United States businesses out of your country years ago. I mean, you ain't got nothing on us, Putin. That's why you have Putin wanting to meet with Erdogan and to talk about this economic situation that he's in. That's why you got Putin wanting to talk to Merkel. So I'm telling you, man, Donald Trump with economic warfare is shaking the global order. And now America is respected. Now America is a force to be reckoned with. Now America is dominating the world fucking stage. And I'd like to thank the president for coming into power and throwing America's dick on the table and saying, look, you ain't going to touch this, bitch. Damn fucking right. Economic warfare, baby, and I'm loving every minute of it. This will kind of discourage any type of military confrontation, because how are they going to pay for their troops if they can barely pay for their people? You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on. I'm telling you, this is why we needed a capitalist in the White House. This is why we needed a capitalist in the White House, boy. Anyway, last but not least, folks, all right, Venezuela. Well, before I do that, I know that we got 5 minutes left in the broadcast, but I'm going to extend the broadcast about 10 or 15 minutes after I talk about Venezuela. And the reason I'm doing this, folks, is because I am going to start taking callers, all right? This isn't radio fucking graffiti. All right, this is taking actual callers that may want to call up and have any kind of opinion on the subject matter out here, all right? I'm not even kidding around. Now, if you want to partake or want to call up, this is how you do it, all right? Now, listen carefully, all right? The dial-in number is, get a pad and paper right now. All right, let me wait until you get a pad and paper. We're going to extend this like 15 minutes, and we're going to take calls. Get your pad and paper right now. The number right now to call is area code 605-472-5691. And when you start hearing the operator start talking, just go ahead and push in the following access code, okay? You push in the following: 464089. And once you do that, you will be on queue, and you will be, in the queue to basically talk, man, you know what I mean? So with that being said, if you do want to call in, once again, the number is, all right, everybody get your pad and paper ready. It is 605-472-5691. And once the operator starts talking, go ahead and put in access code this: 464089. And that's for everybody that wants to call up, all right? The lines are open, so go ahead if you want to call up, go ahead and do so. I am going to talk about Venezuela here for a real quick second, and once I do, we'll see if we have any callers here, okay? Now, Venezuela, folks, the reason I'm bringing them up, is we all know that Nicolas Maduro recently had an assassination attempt utilizing drones in this assassination attempt. And what's really funny about this is that Venezuela, we've talked about how Venezuela has been trying to throw olive branches at the president. Nicolas Maduro recently released a prisoner out of a Venezuela prison that was an American that recently made the airwaves. He also, here recently, and believe it or not, folks, he continues to throw olive branches. Maduro has suggested and offered that he's willing to open up his country for the FBI to investigate the assassination attempt on him. I mean, what? What? I'm not joking. I'm not kidding around. Venezuela's Nicolas Maduro is trying to throw yet another olive branch at the United States by allowing the United States to come into Venezuela, or the FBI, to investigate the assassination attempt on himself. I mean, how desperate is Nicolas Maduro at this point in time, man? He can't even trust his own goddamn fucking country. He's like, senor, can you please bring the FBI over to Venezuela? Somebody tried to assassinate me. I need your help. I mean, can you believe this? Opening up his country to the FBI so that the FBI can investigate the goddamn assassination attempt on him. I mean, I've heard it all now. I've heard it all now, man. I've heard it all. Good God. Let me have a fucking drink of cola after that. Good God. All right. I can't believe that. Can you believe it? Wants the FBI to come to Venezuela so that the FBI can investigate the assassination attempt on Maduro. I mean, I'm telling you, Maduro, you know what I mean? Maduro doesn't know, I mean, he doesn't know who to trust. He does not know who to trust whatsoever. Does not know who to trust. Now, we are finished with the subject matters of today. What I'm going to do now, folks, is open up the line right now for anybody to call if you have anything to chime in about here at the end. Once again, the number is area code 605-472-5691. And once the operator starts talking, go ahead and push in access code push in access code of the following: 464089. Once again, push in the access code 464089. And do we have any goddamn callers, engineer? Okay, engineer's telling me we do have callers. So let's go ahead and go right to the first caller. Hold on, let me make sure to put this up on the switchboard. Let's go ahead and get some callers here. Who do we have here? Hold on. How about area code 856? Area code 856, you're on the air. You're on the air.
How you doing, Ghost? It's Trumpin.
Hey, what's going on, Trumpin? How you doing tonight, man?
Not much is going on, just, the same shit, different night. I want to talk a little bit more about Venezuela and its economic collapse that's impending.
All right, what's your thoughts on Venezuela?
Oh, hold on 1 second, actually.
Hold on 1 second. You're on the air. What are you talking about? Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. What the?
Sorry about that. I had to take care of something really quickly.
All right. No problem. Go ahead. Go ahead and
I just want.
Go ahead and say what you got to say, man.
So anyway, I was thinking about this. I know this was about a week ago, but I believe that Maduro's assassination attempt was the rebels trying to take Maduro out of power in terms of either starting a coup or to physically overtake the government of Venezuela to overthrow the socialist power. Now, my question is, if that assassination attempt had succeeded, what would we have seen?
Well, I think that we would have seen the socialist government put their next in line. I mean, I don't think it was the rebels, in my opinion. I think it may have been somebody within his own government, and that's why Maduro is asking the FBI of America to come into Venezuela to try to investigate it. I think that it was, remember, Nicolas Maduro had this assassination attempt literally a couple of days after he said that his party's socialist ideas were a failure. You remember that?
I do remember that, yes.
Yeah, and right, like a couple of days after he told his socialist party that their socialist ideas were a failure, that's when you saw this assassination attempt on Maduro.
Correct.
So what do you think?
My question is...
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, man.
I'm sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry, I think there's a little bit of phone lag between us. I think that's, Google not wanting me to contact you or try to have an intellectual conversation with you.
All right, well then try to call back or something, man, because I don't want to sound like a jerk off. You know what I'm saying? So try to call back. Let's pick up somebody else. How about area code 214? What's up, you're on the air, 214.
Yeah, it goes. Do you think it's a little easier now that Trump can move around the global positioning of us, but now that the old man Rockefeller's dead and Maurice Strong, who both were influencing this New World Order crap?
Well, that's a very good question. I think that I wouldn't say it's easier. I would say right now that Donald Trump is having, a little bit of some turbulence in an attempt to have this global shift of order. But in my personal view, I think that we still have the Rothschilds. We still have a whole bunch of agents of the globalist system, not just in our government, but even in the EU, even in these other unions that are coming about, in the UK, etc. I mean, lest we forget, do y'all remember when Theresa May was wearing that fucking Frida crap? Do y'all remember that stupid unibrow dyke Frida? I mean, if that couldn't be any more blatantly communist. I mean, there's photographs of Angela Merkel in full-fledged, like, Russian communist garbs. You know what I mean? I mean, give me a fucking break. So, in my opinion, I think that it's still harder for Trump to take down this globalist system, because this globalist system is so compartmentalized, and it's communist in political nature. That's why all these people are so dedicated to it. That's why these people are motivated politically. I mean, lest we forget, take a look at all the major leaders of the EU countries. Take a look at Merkel. Take a look at Macron. Take a look at all these people. They don't have any children. They don't have any children, for Christ's sake. So what exactly are they leading? What exactly are they leading? What are they leading the future for? They're leading the future for, in my opinion, a communist globalist system. And it can't be any more apparent than it is today. Now, granted, I do think that David Rockefeller dying, Zbigniew Brzezinski dying, a lot of these big characters that were sacred cows of globalism, I think that they were obviously put out to pasture, but they're still globalists, man. I mean, you still got George Soros, you know? You still got, these globalists that are embedded within our country, within our government. You still got these globalists that are out here within corporate infrastructures. I mean, lest we forget that most of these billionaires, like Bill Gates and Warren Buffett and these people are also globalists. I mean, why do you think they're consolidating their wealth together so that they can control most of the money? I mean, it's fucking disgusting. But people need to wake up and realize what's going on and open their eyes to the fucking truth. That's what people need to do. And I know the truth hurts, but hey, it's a bitch, all right? How about area code 334? 334, you're on the horn.
Hey, what's up, Ghost?
Hey, what up, man? Who's this?
Oh, shit, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I don't want to be hella deaf to me. All right, cool. Supposed to say, is Herb, thanks for the shout-out earlier, man. I'm not too worried, like, even if, the leftists, the, globalists, like, these people, they're not having children, just like you said. I'm feeling like people like us, we're going to, hold it steadfast. We're going to, print guns with the 3D printers. We're going to keep it straight in America, even if it goes on for another 30 years, even longer. We're going to, we're not going to let up. We're not going to let these people take, what we have in America.
Now, I don't blame you, and happy birthday, by the way. We cannot let them do it. America is the last stand of freedom. The last stand. I mean, the world, at least those that want freedom in the world, are depending on us to sustain this freedom. And that's what makes these socialists within our own borders so dangerous. These people that are promoting socialism and communism, that's what makes them so dangerous. And that's why those of us in America, we need to slap ourselves back into reality and realize that this is a government made for the people and by the people. But if the people fall asleep at the wheel, we are going to see the consequence of the past 40 to 50 years politically, economically, and socially happen again. And I don't think that we can handle or take another round of governance like we have for the past 50 years. I mean, we barely saw our sovereignty preserve itself with the election of Donald Trump. I guarantee you, had Hillary Rotten Clinton been elected, the American sovereignty would have withered away within her presidency. That's why America and every American citizen should take every Bill of Rights as serious as their lives. They need to take the Constitution as serious as their lives, because these are the only rights that are accorded to everyday people. And these rights are accorded to everyday people from God. Not from some human arbitrator, not from some government, not from some monarch, from God himself. And you see, that's why communists want you to be godless. That's why they want you to be atheist. Because if you're atheist, then you are not accorded any rights by God. Because if you don't believe in God, then you have no rights. You have no unalienable rights. You get it? That's why they want you godless. That's why they want you soulless. That's why they want you cultureless. That's why they want you borderless. That's what communism wants. Don't you understand that? Wake up! If you are an atheist, then you are not accorded the Bill of Rights, right? Because those rights are accorded to every man on the United States by God, not by some human arbitrator. And that's what makes the United States so different from every other country in the world. And we should be proud of that. We should preserve that. We should do everything we can to sustain it. All right, let's take a couple more calls here, and then I'm going to go ahead and get the hell out of here. 773, you're on the air. What's going on?
Oh, God. I want to fuck your ass. Oh, God. You make me gonna pee in your mouth. Oh, God.
Hey, do you want me to say your fucking number on the air? You want me to say your number on the air?
Oh, God.
All right. Anybody that wants to mess with this person, it's 773-413-8779. I ain't got time for this shit. All right, I ain't got time for this crap. One more caller. I think we got somebody out from the international community. What's up? Area code 61. What's up, man?
G'day, Ghost. This is Hawklet Dundee calling from the suburbs of Melbourne. And I just wanted to talk to you quickly about the African gang situation in the Melbourne suburbs, if you don't mind, mate.
The African gang situation in the Melbourne suburbs? Are you talking about Australia?
Yes, indeed, mate. So we've had a bit of an issue over this part of the world. What's been going on, mate, is that a bunch of these African gangs have been getting into a little bit of a war going on here. We've had them throwing stones at people, getting into massive riots. The police are doing nothing, mate. And particularly they've been calling out some of the white people around here, a bunch of fucking racists, and going on and trying to threaten them and shit like that. I've been checking in at the waterhole and talking to some lovely suburban Sheilas, and I've been trying to figure out what the whole cause of the whole thing is. And it seems it all comes back to these two gangs fighting over some tribal booty. And because of that, they've been pretty much, as I've been saying, disrupting the neighborhood. I think it relates back to what you were talking a bit before about the, I guess, this black rage that comes from black women, and I think it's just passed on down to the latest generation. So I've got an idea, mate, to fix this up. I say what we do is we get a couple of these brothers and send them back to Somalia, and we get a couple of sticks and stones and have a good old-fashioned Somali royale, and the last man standing gets the booty.
Are you kidding me? Get this down under freak out here. I mean, look, I understand. Turn that shit off. I understand the situation going on right now in Australia, specifically Melbourne. They're having an African situation going on in which the Africans are going out and, I don't know, they're causing a major situation, major chaos in Melbourne, Australia. And lest we forget that Melbourne, Australia is the liberal of liberal in Australia. I mean, that is the liberal area of Australia, to say the least. So, with that being said, folks, I guess I understand where that individual is coming from, but let's be honest. Come on, what the hell kind of a goddamn suggestion was that? What kind of a suggestion was that? Anyway, look, obviously that was my cue to get the hell off. All right, we're already, 15 minutes over the third hour on True Capitalist Radio, okay? Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say good night to everybody on this Monday. I would like to remind everybody to please, if you're listening to the sound of my voice, spread this show link around like wildfire and let everybody you know, and let them know that True Capitalist Radio is in effect in the house every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Texas Time. And the official website, baby, is ghost.report. That's all you got to type in your browser and add to your favorites, add to your bookmarks. Ghost.report, folks. It's as simple as that. Moreover, I am going to be in the True Capitalist Radio chat room, so if you want to come on down and chill with us, now is the time. I'm going to be in there in about 20 minutes, so come on down here, all right? And how do you join the True Capitalist Radio chat room? Listen closely. Go to my Gab account right now. Go to my Gab! Check out my Gab! And it's Politics Ghost, by the way. All one word, no underscores. And then click the subscribe button for premium content. All right, baby? Click the subscribe button for premium content. And once you do that, go ahead and private message me on Gab. All right? Private message me on Gab and let me know your Discord chat name, and I will give you a private invitation to the True Capitalist Radio chat room. It's that damn simple, baby. All right? So come on down, baby. We're going to be doing all kinds of internet tomfoolery. We're going to be discussing a bunch of things. Come on down, baby. You're missing out a lot if you're not a part of the True Capitalist Radio chat room. And by the way, how much is goddamn quantum right now? 378. 378. Did I just say 35 quantum to get in the inner circle and it went down to 378? What the fuck? Well, you know what? I'm still honoring the 35 quantum. 35 quantum. I don't know if we're going to continue with 35 quantum till Baller Friday, but 35 quantum to get in the inner circle, that is way more than half price off. But you got to pay in quantum, baby. All right. And if you want to know what quantum address to use, go to the cryptocurrency wishing well. Go to the cryptocurrency wishing well at ghost.report. And, if you send some QTUM, 35 QTUM, if you sent it, let me know. Private message me on Gab or whatever. And let me know that you paid, and we'll go ahead and hook you up into the fucking inner circle, baby. I mean, this is a deal of the goddamn history of the show. 35 fucking quantum right now to get in the inner circle, for Christ's sake. 35 quantum. If you don't do this time, you missed an opportunity of a lifetime. I guarantee you. 35 quantum to get in the inner circle. Don't let this opportunity slip you fucking by, man. Like I said, if you want the quantum address, go to the cryptocurrency wishing well. And if you send the 35, let me know. Why don't you, go on the blockchain, give me some screenshots, let me know on Gab, and we'll hook you up in the inner circle, baby. All right? Anyway, I am out of here. I will be back on Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. You better be here. And not to mention, why don't you tell your mammy, your daddy, your granny, your grampy, your aunt, your uncle, all your friends, everybody. Let them know that we're right here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 6:30 p.m. Ghost.report is the website. Anyway, I had a great show today. This is episode number 604. This is August 13th, 2018. And I want to say thank you for listening to me. Whether it's live or in the archive, I appreciate it, baby. Anyway, I'm out of here. You better be here Wednesday. Long live the capitalist army, and death to feminism, death to socialism, and death to communism. I'm out of here. You better be here 6:30 p.m. Wednesday. I'm out of here. Woo!